comes their way. And when it comes to Rutgers, they have relied on close touches and infield finds, but the problem is it's going to be so difficult to have that composure to do so when you know that you're under the gun like this, especially when Trap feeling themselves trying to get a highlight reel goal of their own to add on to the others.
Did all the heroics get used up in Game 5? Game 6 could depict your East champion for Rocket League here with the CECC, but Rutgers trying to defend their hometown if they can. Aquario with a big extension. Trap is going to try and go find it and put it at least in not a longitudinal, more lateral. Top Cheese with another follow, and it's just individual touches that Stockton is able to be a little bit more efficient with. They're keeping Rutgers from doing much of anything. Sub 70 seconds to go here, Danger Taco, and it's Stockton that are just keeping Rutgers with their backs pressed to the wall.
Yeah, and you see Rutgers trying to keep up with their game plan. No long clears. They're not trying to go up the field because they know a minute is a long time, especially if they can get something crucial. That's a lot of players on it, but only Anxiety with the contact. I thought that was dead in the water, but Anxiety is going to float above them all.
Aquario gets one extra. That one was the powerful touch that was able to make it happen. Trap went for the squishy save and the adjustment to be able to get back to center mass. That was a great strike by Anxiety as they put it very tight, very low, very mid, and we're sub 1 minute to go, but Rutgers have given themselves a spark of hope.
Off the kickoff to the back post. Trap not going to be able to get a free one right back, so here comes Aquario. Man of the moment, got that 0 second. Can they inspire some more late game heroics in an even more stressful situation? Puppet 50ing out through Trap as well. They're actually going to keep on going. How much boost the tank? The answer is enough for one more touch. Anxiety off the corner, but it's not going to be in the mid. It's still met by a Rutgers player, but for how much longer can they sustain this? They need to balance out the resources, going for passes even to keep it alive, but it's just not going to work out. Final 20 seconds, separating Stockton from their championship.
Oh, that was an extension of 2, and Puppet was trying to be able to just bleed it around that thin margin of error. You got 10 seconds remaining. Top Cheese is able to put it to the boards, but Rutgers needs one in on 0 second time, just enough time. They're going to play for this kind of just extension of just play, get the style. Aquario is able to have at least one. That goes to the sidewall. Anxiety gets underneath it. No, he's unable to get that cut. So it will be Stockton, the Ospreys, that take this series 4-2. They are your CC East regional champions.
And that is something that they came into this tournament saying they will be, but certainly not in this fashion. They're saying, hey, I'm sorry to Rutgers. We're going to take you down. I don't think they anticipated that much resistance. So well done by the Scarlet Knights, but this is why Stockton is on top. You throw them a couple curveballs eventually. They'll take a few strikes, but they will, more often than not, knock it out of the park.
Stockton, good job. I mean, pretty much congratulations to be able to get this one. Everyone said Stockton, 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 and everyone was looking at them, and now we're saying Stockton. So they were able to take this one in a 4-2 win. And Rutgers, honestly, kudos to them to be able to fight this hard. There was several tight battles. We had OTs, we had them playing just 1-goal differences, and this one was just started with that 2-goal extension at the very beginning of the game that really never left them, and then just be able to put that defense up that when it mattered the most, really just clutch up, and it's a lot of experience, and I like that Rutgers were able to fight tooth and nail with them. Best of 7s, they give you the best of both worlds because you don't just get to be kind of one and done, straight 3. No, it is a marathon, and both these teams were running the distance.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see the advantage of staying within your game plan and then trusting in your teammates. Rutgers several times was against the back of the wall. They had a 0 second goal to steal a win, be able to extend the series out. And then the very next game, they go down by 2, but they bring it down to very much the final touches of the game. It was always competitive, and that's really what you have to think about. You can't think about starting to fall behind. You can't think about trends. You just have to stay in the moment, be mindful. And I think they were certainly running a clinic on meditation. Unfortunately, it didn't reflect in their play at some times. Stockton had some open shots. They took advantage of all of them, as all good teams will, and they're rightfully your CECC East champions.
Oh, man. Rutgers University, great venue, great people, great players, great coaching. Honestly, we got to talk with so many of them whenever they were coming up to this, really fawning over you. But being able to,
no, sir.
Being able to have just like the greatest of all the parents have been able to really support these players and these teams and everything and more. And I know that all of you are excited and just happy to be able to witness it, as were we. We got to be with this fantastic venue of everyone that was competing over group stages and in this bracket. And, you know, Stockton, they came in as the big dogs, and for a big reason. Rutgers should not hang their head in shame. They get $500, and $1,500 goes over to Stockton. The Ospreys able to take it big, and they will then also be qualifying for the CECC coming up in May. So they've still got a lot of competition in front of them. And, I mean, what does this really say? Because we know them from CRL, but also when it comes to CECC and being able to just continuously set themselves in successful positions, what can this really kind of just defined for them in those other competitions?
Well, I think when we talk about CRL, that is really the league that a lot of people focus on, but CECC and NACE Star League, all these other collegiate leagues, Stockton runs the board in quite a lot of them, and it shows there's consistency. They even change up their lineup. We saw Warbean on the roster because that is a player that has actually been swapping out with Trap a lot. Bussy and Top Cheese are their duo for Stockton, and it shows that they can experiment with things, but it still works out for them because the baseline is so high. We talk a lot about the ceiling of teams and the floors of teams. I think we're at the point where Stockton's floor is so high that pretty much you have to peak the entirety, otherwise you're going to dip below that and you're never going to be able to hang with them. So I will say Rutgers as a team might be coming in relatively unproven. They have a less auspicious record, I would say, in the collegiate scene, but they're making improvements. I really like what I saw from this week, and I'm sure it will not be the last we hear about this promising roster either.
Auspicious Osprey. That goes really well together. That should be on a T-shirt. I'm just, just Stockton, you can pay my PayPal.
That's too pretentious of a word. I don't think that will not sell well at the student store.
I would. Well, I'm a boomer, but that's that's okay too. So we're getting ready for an interview to go over to Poly because we do have Stockton University, and it looks like we're good to go. So let's take it over. Give us some energy. Give us some hype. Go ahead, Poly. Show us Stockton.
Thank you so much, Monkey Man. I am here at the CECC East Regional event where we just saw Stockton. Congratulations. Stockton is going to be your CECC East Regional winners, and they'll qualify for the CECC May event. Stockton, give us a little rundown on how that game went.
We lost a little more games than we expected, but we knew we were going to win. Just had some fun.
Okay, knew they were going to win. Little precise there. All right. So how was your experience this weekend, though, at the CECC East Regional overall? We've seen your team from the CECC last year at our grand final, and now coming back here into the 22-23 season. How's that been?
I had a great time. I think the CECC and Esports U and everyone who works on this event just does a great job. The production's fantastic, so had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Stockton. And, one final question here. What's on the horizon for Stockton University? What do you have coming up?
We just have our CRL season. Just trying to win a world championship.
Sure. Well, before talking about a world championship, we'll give you this championship. Cadet Cravanos is here to present the champion trophy. I'll get out the way here. Congratulations, Stockton University, as you are our Rocket League champions. Let's make some noise for Stockton. Congratulations, Stockton. They will qualify again for that East Regional. You guys are good. All right, back over to the desk here. Enjoy, Stockton.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Bussy. Enjoy, brother. Okay.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment, at any scale. It's not for everyone, but if you want to learn and make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because All eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment, at any scale. It's not for everyone, but if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hello, everyone. Paulie Hype here once again, and I am here with Major Monday from U.S. Army Marketing. Major Monday, it's so great to have you here at the East Regional.
I am super excited to be here. It's a great welcome, great introduction, I think.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I was curious. Can you just tell us a little bit about your role at U.S. Army Marketing?
Yeah, for sure. Can I hold this real quick? All right, cool. All right, so I'm the innovations officer for Army Marketing, essentially the grassroots of trying to think of new ideas to operate within the marketing world, right? So that's what I do right now.
Oh, okay, well, excellent. And, you know, what's your history with the U.S. Army? And can you kind of just get into, you know, where you are today just based off kind of your credentials of being in the U.S. Army?
Another great question. So everyone is going to have a different journey, right? So you're not going to come in some blanket path moving forward. It's sort of more like a guide going forward. I joined the Army in 2001 prior to 9/11, so I have my own story there. I enlisted, so I spent 8 years enlisted, and from that opportunity, I transitioned to become an officer. I became a cavalry officer, and I did a few years doing cavalry and sneaking around and doing the reconnaissance stuff. Then I became an intelligence officer. Switched to intelligence officer, did 10 years of strategic intelligence and combat intelligence, and from that opportunity, I got to go get my MBA in innovation and technology, and then I was accepted into the FA 58 program, which is essentially Army marketing. Sure. So stood up the Army marketing out of Chicago, and now here we are trying to effectively improve our position, improve you know, the relatability and the community for how, you know, what the Army has to offer and how we can be part of your you know, your next message forward or your next drive forward, how we participate. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. Just a long list of skills and a long journey there in the Army. You know, thank you so much for your service. Truly appreciate it. How do you think some of those attributes that you've gained while being in the U.S. Army kind of directly relative to esports and gaming?
Well, being in this room is pretty much the best opportunity to really define that or answer that question. Sure. So for what I've seen here is you have leaders on the table, you have people standing behind them, coaching them, helping them guide them through you know, execution and a strategy. They were thinking about how to play these games prior to going in that. They're communicating, they're continuously communicating. You can hear them all the way in the back talking about what to do next, where to move, what opportunities they see, how to make that next position in order to capitalize and move forward. And then you have that teamwork, right? So everyone's working together toward a centralized goal. what I just told you was exactly what happens in the military. While that happens in a lot of different fields where you're going to move forward, this is a good opportunity or transition. You're trying to find whether or not what you do now relates moving forward, and it does, right? So there's a simple question. Is it relatable? Of course. You guys have a community. We also have a community. People play esports all the time in the military. It doesn't inspire the brimstone. Like, we like to have fun. We like to explore. We like to do it. But those technical skills that you guys are developing here now, super transitional, enhances your opportunity, and gives you just another skill set to bring and then develop while you're in the military.
And talking about some of those skills, being a quick decision maker, being accurate, teamwork, communication, all those things that are direct, relative to the military. How would you feel that also applying those skill set in your own work, in your own prestige, affect your advancement in your career?
So I was obviously playing video games in the 90s, early 2000s. That's where I came from, and those skills that I developed even in my own gameplay, they attributed directly to my success. As an intelligence officer, you got to think way forward. You got to think, what is the next step? How am I going to talk to everyone around me and communicate effectively, essentially? So it enhanced my ability to perform in my profession. I also could take that into any profession outside the military, but the Army gave me an opportunity to focus that skill set, to refine what was important within those skill sets and enhance them. And I just continuously take and improve myself. So.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for that. It's a great answer. And, as we round things off here, Major Monday, just kind of discussing, again, the overall attributes and opportunities of the military and so on. We're here at Rutgers University. They're the host of the CECC East Regional. Being around a lot of college students, how would you feel and say that college students and high school students potentially coming into College Network can kind of benefit from the U.S. Army?
Well, that's the big question, right? Is if you're trying to go into education and you're thinking about how am I going to pay for this, right? Everyone's always going to jump onto, you have the Montgomery GI Bill, right? And at the end of that 3-year commitment enlisted, you have $80,000 in turn to put toward your education. And that isn't just, a bachelor's degree in history, right? Go get some sort of education and technical skills. It's something that you love doing, right? It's got to be your happiness. You're pursuing that, right? We're just helping you and giving you tools to move forward. You may not want to be in the Army for 20 years, and that's okay, right? So you take that opportunity, you improve something, you develop a skill, and you move forward. If you're already in college, well, look for your ROTC program. They can help you through your 2-3-year programs if you've already done one to help you pay for that college. And again, offer you another way to get better, to remove that level of debt, and to enhance your position when you come. Every entrepreneur goes through years of development, right, to get to that position where they're owning that space. The military is offering you that opportunity to get in there, develop and hone, and do it without debt. And you're going into the world with an education, with experience, and no debt. Like, how many people can say that nowadays, right? So that's what I would say a good benefit for that.
Sure. And before we head out, I'll give you a couple quick fire questions here. These are off the script now. Okay, first off, do you play any games yourself?
I do play some games myself. So right now I'm a real-time strategy person. Like I said before, I'm super big in real-time strategy. I've been doing some Rocket League, especially over here, trying to hone my skills. I'm really good at race car driving and good at soccer, but not so great when you put them together. I've been playing Total War Series since like 2000 on the computer, and I've followed those through my entire career. A lot of that kind of stuff is what I play. I play Super Smash Brothers with my kids. I play Mario Kart with my kids, and I never let them win. I just want you to know I'm teaching them values moving forward, that if you want it, you got to earn it. And I let them practice, a little bit. I don't want them to get too good too fast, but they definitely are coming with those skills. So
I love to hear that, and I can't let the kids win. That's a primary focus. I'm all about that. Quick one here, and this is kind of interesting the way it ties in. I've always heard rumors that kind of your drone technicians, they use PlayStation or Xbox controllers in some situations. They just jack in kind of USB to the situation. Is that kind of like how it is actually done?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because it allows me to hit on one point in particular. There are over 200 jobs in the United States military, and I do not know every single job in the United States military because there are so many opportunities that you get to pick and choose what you want to do, and it just so happens that opportunity isn't there for you. You get to kind of refine that selection to find something that gets you to that goal. I'm sure they use something like that in order to move forward, but I am no drone expert, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you a lie because I'm not going to start your journey off in the military with something that I'm not sure of.
Sure. Well, I started a documentary, so I'm going to go with the documentary. But either way, thank you so much, Major Monday, for being here at the CEC East Regional, for U.S. Army and Army ROTC being a sponsor. It has been amazing to have you here. Thank you so much. Let's make some noise real quick. I know we're chilling. It's Major Monday, though. Let's make some noise. Appreciate having you here. Thank you so much. That's going to do it, though, for us over here. We'll head it back over as we get ready for the Valorant CECC East Regional Finals. Thank you so much, sir.
What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Analyst Desk. And before we jump into this Valorant Grand Final, we got to do a little bit of strat building. And joining us here on the desk is Army Esports player. It's Elfo. How you feeling, man?
No, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to showcase a strategy that I hope maybe you could employ maybe in your ranked game. So let's say you're the IGL. What would that be in the military? What is that?
For me, that's probably going to be an officer, so I'm not really sure. I'm enlisted.
So let's say you're promoted to the officer and you're leading a mission onto Ascent, one of Valorant's most popular maps. Now I have a strategy to attack on Ascent, and now my competitor, my counterpart, Gompers, well, she's got a strategy of her own. What are you gonna try to do to me?
Okay. Well, first of all, what's your strategy?
Well, here's my plan. I gotta shed all of this to let you know I'm getting real crazy. So this is my plan of attack.
Okay.
It's called We Just Can't Los.
Okay.
And it's a official strat from Losers Esports. So your team, right now, it's going to consist of Chamber, KO, Brim, Reyna, and Fade. And our maneuver is going to attack A site. So to start things off, we're going to have Chamber right here by Tiles. He's got a rendezvous placed over by Top Cat. So what he's going to do is, as soon as the round starts, cause a distraction. Pow, pow, pow. Anyone who's hanging around from Cat, from Tree, they're going to back up. They're like, They're afraid. They're afraid because they know that this position is covered. But then, once they back up, boom, rendezvous over here, and then boom, 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 shooting a lot of distraction, a lot of fear, and all the while, they want to send some reinforcements. They're scared. They're not sure what to do. We have Reyna still pushing up while this distraction is being put into place. All the while, we've got Brim, KO, and Fade moving up. You have the 0 point right here. Abilities all in this area. Suppressed. Not going to happen. Fade with the haunt right over onto Jenny. Who's where? We don't know. Stim beacon and a smoke right on Heaven and Tree. Boom, boom, boom. Go in. Clear it out, clear it out, clear it out. And then you have some support from Tree into Garden. Chamber eventually going to follow up and hang out by Catwalk to make sure no one comes back for a flank. Trademark, obviously, in A main. And post plan, easy as pie. We just can't lose, baby.
She doesn't seem too amused.
I just don't know what happened. I'm just very confused.
Because it was such a Giga Brain play.
You know, if that's Giga Brain, then I'm Giga Chad because that was some pretty lame stuff that I just saw. Let's look at mine. My strat's called I Can't See. All right, we know where we're going with this. We know the strats for this one. Obviously, you know, if they can't see you, you can't see them.
Right.
Or if you can't see them, they can't see you. We know that.
Close enough.
That's
one way.
It goes both ways, right? But we got the Breach, the Omen, the Yoru, and the reason why I picked Yoru is because based and better. Sky and KO. So Yoru flashes his teammates a lot of the time, and that's what we need here. Because if you can't see, he can't see either. So the real strat, we get the Yoru, we push the Yoru in first, we get the flash out, and everybody's pushing in with the Yoru. The Yoru flashes everyone, including the team. So no one can see. It's a battle to the blind. We got the sky flashes coming through left and right so that everybody continues to be blind. And it really is just a skill of who's better. And that is my strat. But well, you're attacking, so I should be defending, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I'll do the same thing, but out of Heaven.
What?
I'd have my Yoru come out first, flash everybody on the team while they try to get the retake so that everybody's flash and have the Sky continuously put out the flashes, then the Omen, then the Breach, and then the KO.
But what are the initial placements?
There's no placements.
Are you just sitting in CT spot?
Listen, it's like playing a game of poker. all right? You got to win by luck and skill. Is your crosshair at the right head placement? Are you a good player? Are you genuinely a Valorant player? And that's where you think.
Well, I mean.
Also, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. It was approved by Sentinels 11s and top Radiant player Shroud. So
Can we fact check that?
don't do that.
Well, I mean, regardless.
What do you think?
Although you have a lot of options here. One is clearly better than the other.
But I do have a personal bias going into this already now.
Oh. Well, walk us through it here.
It's pretty much going to be my boy Omen. And you don't have him anywhere in your plan.
I have him getting wasted trying to take a site or trying to hold it from me, which would never happen.
If you can't see me, then
They
I can't see you.
That's what I'm saying. It's all about luck, my guy. And you lost it.
I'm all about the chaos.
Unbelievable! I don't accept this, but I will say thank you for at least offering some input. Elfo from U.S. Army Esports, thank you for joining us on the analyst desk. But we're going to go to Poly Hype for 10 seconds of hype before we jump into that grand finals. Let's go. I'm going.
All right, you already know the deal. When Paulie Hype is the host of the show, before we get the grand final started of Valorant, we need to do the coordinated 10 seconds of hype, and I got some help from the talent team. Let's go! 10 seconds of hype for collegiate esports! Make some noise! Woo! Woo! That's how it's done, baby! Talent, back over to whatever's coming next. Who cares? Run it!
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are hyped, because so are we here on the desk. It's the Valorant Grand Finals. We've got ourselves Fisher up against Rutgers. Ash, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. Should be heated. I'm expecting it to go the distance.
Go the distance. Already out early with the predictions. It is the #1 seed and the 2nd seed up in this one, so TOs, we did a good job with the seeding, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, absolutely. But I just want to talk a little bit about the history here, right? I mean, Rutgers has been doing really well in other collegiate matchups, already qualified to the Campus Clutch Nationals in a couple of weeks, heading over towards Texas. And then last season, they were also the Mid-Atlantic champs who qualified to the CECC Finals.
Yeah, so both these teams, incredible runs. It's no wonder they went 3-0 out of their groups, out of Group A and Group B, #1 seeds coming into this one, into this playoff bracket as well. And man, Fisher College, in the power rankings in the nation, 6th.
Yeah.
6th, so it is ridiculous. Their school, I mean, well, you've seen here today the amount of trophies they've already taken home. I mean, I will tell you, they've taken the first 2.
Yep.
They took Smash, they took Overwatch. Didn't take Rocket League, but the Rocket League team is here.
Hey, they're busy being pros
They're
right
generous.
now, right? Yeah, for sure. But when it comes down to it, I mean, Fisher College, we're expecting the fire is under them already with those W's, right? So Valorant being the team who probably wants to take it home, take the third one, the third trophy here today for themselves. But at the same time, we're also on Rutgers' home ground right now. They are a team who did make it all the way to CCC Atlanta last time, and unfortunately, they didn't make it past quarterfinals, I believe, where they lost to SJSU, which was actually the team who took it all the way to take the cup.
Yeah, so we're on the Rutgers campus here in New Brunswick. You got to expect them to come with something strong. We got to see them last night, or in the middle of the day last night. If you were following us, you saw that one here on the main broadcast. Played a pretty solid game. Started their ascent game down 2 rounds, and then we talked about the fact that if they get the momentum in that last round, you should see that push into what is the next half. And well, it did. They started rolling, got momentum under them, and then kind of took it away from there. I will say they're a team that plays aggressive. They play close contact. They're willing to take those fights. We got to see a crazy initiator duelist combination coming by the likes of what was Freda and what was Beast, willing to jump in there on the KO and Raze and take all that space early into rounds. And all that space worked out pretty well for them. I mean, we see teams, when they do take the early contact, If they go too far, we start to see overextensions. I didn't think we ever got that, though. I think they knew when to pull the leash.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then on the other side, you've got Fisher, who both of these teams have not dropped a map yet in this particular tournament, in this weekend. And Fisher actually 13-0'd yesterday up against Pace in the group stages. So both of these teams just have so much momentum behind them going into finals today.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Curious to see what the maps look like for this one. I mean, the only map we've got to see here in this event specifically, at least for you guys at home in the audience, us as well, is we got to see Rutgers play their game on Ascent. Of course, that was yesterday. So I do wonder if we touch Ascent in this map pool. Surely we do. I think it's just so common, and it's so safe for these teams, especially Fisher being such a new roster.
But at the same time, you think about the fact that Rutgers did play on the stage yesterday, right? So there's the potential that because that was their only streamed matchup, the only streamed matchup of Valorant in the CECC this weekend, it might be a ban just because they don't want to be counter-stratted.
Sure, I think it's very fair. Counter-strats are a big thing, especially when that whole VOD sits there for the whole night. Fisher's welcome to go back to the hotel and check it out. Well, we'll see what the options are. We'll check out the map select now. It's a best-of-3 series to decide who's making it to what is that CECC National at the end of the year, and who's taking home $1,500.
Man. Drum roll, please, as we wait for the matches and maps for this best-of-3. Okay, Ascent right off the bat to kick things off, and then we've got Fracture and Haven.
Yeah, the Fracture pick is interesting coming out for sure. I think Ascent and Haven, so common. No surprise to see them sneak their way on through the Pearl ban pretty early in that first 2 set of bans. Colleges don't want to touch Pearl. It's just that easy. I mean, this new semester, we got colleges that don't always scrim together during the summer, especially these larger, higher echelon of teams are usually playing something Tier 2 related with like challenges around the corner, stuff like that. So you just get back in for the semester. It's been a couple months now to work, and just bringing in that new map is always so very difficult. So that won't be the case for this one. We sent Fracture, it'll be Haven if we get there, which my fingers crossed that we do.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Fracture is going to be really scary as a map number 2, though, just because of how momentous it can be for either side. So if the team who wins map number 1 manages to take that momentum early on for themselves, it could really snowball into 2-0. But like we were talking about, I'm really expecting this matchup to go the distance with how Rutgers was able to show up in the last season, the fact that they are also within that top 30 within the power rankings. But now we are going to head over towards Agent Select. Won't keep you guys waiting too much longer.
All right, here we go. It's map number 1. It's Ascent. Picks are going to come out. Beast 2 Hype is going to go back to the Raise the Entry Duelist option, and I'm sure we'll see a KO follow suit as well. With the Killjoy, there is no Sage, Liquor, Fisher College. I think the phase was interesting from what we can see. What we got to see yesterday from Loyola will not be the case coming into this one. So we'll see how that affects the mid control of Rutgers. We're really able to break wall early, take mid space, consistently find their pivot options. So that's not going to be the case going into this one. Everything else, though, for them, compositionally looking about the same.
Yeah, and then I think on either side, it's just pretty typical compositions that are going out here. Very different teams when it comes down to it, but nothing too surprising. And when it comes down to the KO on either side, I mean, that's going to be a pretty big win condition, I think, for either team, especially on Rutgers on the attacking side, just to try and make that Killjoy utility null and void on the attack.
With the Sova to sneak back in, I think I sent them almost the only map that we still get to see Sova players shine. In rare cases, Haven. But I sent those paper thin walls. It's so easy to get those recon scans. That's where you really do get to see that value. Not the same sense as the Haunt to come through. Recon's just a little bit easier, more lineup options.
Choose your agent.
And people have been playing Sova for so very long. He disabled the map, so he'll get a sneak back in. Logan will give that to him. Sova players rejoicing everywhere in the chat to get to see their main man back in action.
I think it is going to be really interesting to see how he does stand up against the Fade pick as well, just because of the fact that with the Prowlers, you get that additional piece of information that you can't glean with Sova. Meanwhile, I mean, they both have different kinds of stall potential and whatnot, but I feel like Fade a little bit more flexible with her utility.
Yeah, especially when paired with what is that raise of Beast the Hype, having the ability to seize nade, having the ability to stall, as you mentioned. And we saw that Prowler value, especially in mid defensively for Rutgers, the fact that they get that information, whether it's B main, whether it's mid-market, and you don't have to actually peek to get that info. Recon Bolt Drone going to have that same effect, but not as intimidating. Players don't really feel like they have to shoot it just as much, and it doesn't give you that near side, of course, if you make contact off it, so there's no ability to open up space in terms of swinging, in terms of making fights easier for yourself.
And how are you feeling about the Killjoy versus the Chamber pick here on Sentinels?
I'm pretty sure the entry duelist is a Jet, so I feel pretty good about it, to be honest. I think Killjoy has a lot more options. I think it's a lot easier to garner control. And the Chamber really fits in as what is the opping agent. You don't need the opping agent if you have the Jet. And I think the Jet still has value as an entry duelist. Now the same sense of the race. So we've got ourselves two cute little compositions in terms of what pairs well with each other. It's a question of who plays what better.
And to kick things off, just the setup here from Rutgers is going to be the split contact default here. Early one way and 0 point towards A main to slow down any push. And early Nano Swarm to deny early B main aggression here for Rutgers as well.
In all this space, already over towards Cubby. That util going to push him off pretty early though, so Rutgers not wanting to take that space. Instead, play the way to a tile instead. So that trap's not seeing the value just yet for Fisher. But they'll still hold on to that pretty aggressive double contact. They've got themselves the double contact as well over towards the top of A main. They've already thrown themselves a dark cover, probably going to come under it. Cannot hold down the one. Logan's been here for so long. That value finally going to be seen. The friends going to find Lemming another second to go with it. As Freda's going to fall. So that duelist initiator combo now out the round. And that smoke player could be next. Carrier so close to tile. Contact's coming through from spawn, and Carrier going to pick up Ming.
Logan's going to have to back off here as well. 28 HP, but mid control already gleaned here from Fisher. And Prof now in a 1v3 situation. 2 are to swing here, and the first round into the pocket of Fisher. Really nicely done. You could see at the late round there, Rutgers was investing this utility towards Cat, towards A main, trying to draw some sort of rotation from Fisher, but with the amount of aggression they had in B main, they just held steady, and those first initial picks by Logan and Ming were the difference makers.
Yeah, absolutely, and so much space early on the defensive. That dark cover for the one-way over towards A main to put 2 players up close. The B main recon bolt to give them that initial space to come and put Logan into Cubby, to put Ming on the contact angle. Fisher really playing forward on the defense, and you see the value there. Traps Rutgers early into mid.
Oh, presence detected right off the bat there on Logan. Bit of chip damage on the side of Rutgers here with the paint shell, and this time around they're able to deny this A main space over towards Fisher, who are playing a bit more safe on this anti-eco. They don't want to lose anything too early on, but Clark actually only got a Sheriff in hand, looking to save for that operator.
Rutgers going to take it much slower here. They know the util, they know the trap potential. They've already been able to clear themselves space into B main. Now it's the real hard part, all the Killjoy utility. Turret broken early, so they've got themselves at least a bit of util down, still a minute to play with, where it is just an eco round for them. So looking for space anywhere on the map they can get it. We'll group up here, we'll look for a spike plant, get the extra cash into this one. That's about all you're expecting.
This is a B end here. They're looking for this market control. You can see 3 on the side of Rutgers creeping up as Moon Coffee is waiting for contact here in B main.
Gonna be close on that contact. The swing gonna come through now. He's picked up 1 with that Spectre. Still more work to be done. He'll have it. The Spectre's so consistent for multi-kill spray downs. You see it right there. The 3K gonna come through for the Sova. Moon Coffee will take 1 shot with that Hunter, a shot that's gone awry.
30 seconds left.
And these players just waiting to swing. The patience going to be there for the team. They know they don't really need to do much. This player has to walk into us. Contact there now. Logan a 4K. Possibility for the ace, but Dory's already caught Beast the Hype over on the A main side.
Flawless round will allow Fisher to also carry every single weapon into this next round. A really strong bonus to come through. And Chloric, actually, when we thought that they were saving for that operator in a later round, actually going to be the hero rifle here for the side of Fisher. Rutgers finally able to buy up a pivotal round for themselves to secure the first round on the board.
So Rutgers, the question of where does this default go from here? They've been able to get themselves space into B main. They've identified the Killjoy is holding over towards B. But to switch up into this round, the Killjoy will head towards A, turn in a new direction. Moon Coffee will catch Chloric early. Looking for a cheeky play. Well, has found nothing.
Yeah. Spike always in a very neutral position here. And Logan now trying to reclaim this B main space. Pick the Vandal back up as well. And Prowler to come through, able to get out though, not sought out by it, will fall back just to play with the team.
One way still to hold strong towards A main. No contact there just yet. Rutgers will still be over towards B. They got that first pick in that direction. So they'll hold and occupy the space that's been created. We talked a lot yesterday about Rutgers' ability to play through mid, to have options in terms of market, in terms of cat. That does look like what is the call early. Was able to sneak 1 player in market into the last round. Looking to do the same again, they'll send 2.
This positioning's so scary though. Pop Flash to come through here, and Logan will have a recon bolt to answer to draw some time out for Psyche, but zoned away, leaves Psyche alone on site.
the first player to step in to sight that entry. Duelist is caught contact on the site, still alive. Find one with the run gun Spectre, possibility for a second, but it's the double waterfall for Cartier to find the trade. We got the sight for Rutgers. The plant's looking to come on its way, and Dory might sniff out a free frag. It'll be Logan instead. So Prof will fall. No backline opportunity for Rutgers. A 3-on-3 scenario.
Spike planted.
Retake here. 3v3. All players of Rutgers are on site at the moment, and you can see Fisher now funneling in, trying to clear corners. Rutgers, they're playing the crossfires. Freda looking for contact, will fall back, but the positioning here is a little bit awkward from Rutgers as they hold towards stairs.
Dory's picked up the first look for this retake, and they'll start to slide away for it. Now recon goal on one to Freda, but he's taking the contact and strides, picked up one. Cartier trade back for the other, and suddenly a 1v1. Low HP, paranoia perfectly placed, and Cartier has a 3K to win out the round. Rutgers have found themselves their first round. It's a 1-2 scoreline.
First round on the board, but an expensive one as well. Not going to be able to have a, not going to be able to have a full buy across the board for all their members, but nonetheless, that was a strong bonus round from Fisher. Things were, I'm not going to lie, looking a little bit scary because you could see how Fisher, they really prefer to try to guard towards the extremities of the map, leaving mid largely open. They are playing sight and contact for that push towards market that we saw 2 rounds ago from Rutgers, but if they had pushed towards CT a little bit earlier, Logan would have been completely caught off guard. Now we're going to head into this next round. As Rutgers, they're leaning a lot more heavily towards B and mid once again.
B and mid. Looks like the only option they've been able to find thus far that has translated to them getting that mid space early. Need to Fisher College to look for answers in that regard, and eventually I think Rutgers plays a little bit slower as you see into this round, and the fact that we've been mid twice now. Do they put extra util here? They have it into this round. That is something they're already thinking about, which is nice to see from their IGL. So they're so passive on this space, looking for contact somewhere, and Fisher patient on this defense to not give the look. Second one way has come up now towards Cat.
It's really interesting how they play this. A lot more aggressive towards the A side. Prowler will seek out one, but the rotation is coming through towards B main now. You can see Rutgers, the rest of the remaining members crawling through the attacking side spawn as Beast type already has contact and presence here in mid-market with a sliver. The dart cover just a little too late. Logan secures the first.
Such a narrow window of opportunity, but Logan nails that shot. We'll take that advantage here for the Fisher defensive. Rutgers now going to try to continue this push. The jig is up, and they start to make an opportunity. They'll be Ming back aside alone this time. Hunters hurry out for Logan to spawn as a tag. Ming has a frag. Still tucked towards lane. Cartier, the only player to make it out so far. Prof will be caught trying to do the same. 2 players have made their way towards site now. Freda going to be caught. Space, tucking that dart. Time low. Cartier even lower. HP bar completely drained. Court just found the last 2 frags.
I really liked the smoke that Dory actually threw out for back boathouse there on the B site, just to buy Ming a little bit more time. Give them one side of cover, play off of the choke point of the other side, the left side of boathouse there, and now Rutgers will be pushed onto an eco round. They have 2 ultimates available. Unlikely to see those come out unless they're able to glean some sort of advantage as far as numbers go, but unfortunately no eco ultimates will be available quite yet. But I would like to see maybe some investment into Moon Coffee, try to get that tool to false online for this round.
See what they can manage to pull together here into this one. Yet again, it is a look into mid. Up towards A though, that one way was towards Cat. They want to take space towards main. The one way's moved yet again. So Fisher will have the answer already towards main. Fade util expended early on the eco to try to clear this angle. Dark cover to come up just a little late, so Psych has that hook on the beast. Moon Coffee, though, that is an FOV diff right there. Psycho picked that one up just outside the field of vision. Logan and Clark find 2 more. That just leaves Prof for Rutgers. Not much you're doing with the Sheriff. Dory has that one. It's 4-1.
Yeah, that's tough too, because Clark was whittled down to just a couple health there, but now we're going to see a full buy once again into the hands of Rutgers. They do have 3 ultimates to work with here as well, so big win conditions with that null command and the Nightfall to potentially come to fruition. I'd like to see them use it in a staggered manner as well, just to ensure that they do have that extra oomph in the post-plant situation. And then we're going to see them posted up once again for this default contact play. This time a bit more spread across the map. Not actually going for any A main presence this time around, though, with a Prowler, any utility that you normally see them throwing.
Go get it.
Roomba towards Cat, so we'll spend a little extra utility for Rutgers. Help for that mid onslaught. They do not through Cat, but they do get the first angle, and Moon Coffee's found Cloric as well, the first pick over towards B main. That is 2 for 2 that they found the look on the Cloric when he's played his way into that direction. So, looking like the kill zone for that Jet in specific. Moon Coffee snuck his way out in towards Logs. No rendezvous totem set up in a very wise swing from CECC. They throw down those nano swarms, and that player's forced out to come somewhere. Well, that player's probably Logs, and that they are. The read's good. The frags had, and CECC's moved into another convenient position. Snuck into mid-market. Has opportunity here. Beast Hype, none the wiser. CECC moves so quick and so efficiently. He's found that look. Nightfall's gone out towards sight. Hasn't translated much just yet, and now we'll start to see the value. Front has picked up one onto CECC, and they've got their look in towards sight. Logan's taken down what is that null command KO, but still going to ping for the moment that ult does remain. And down but not out. Safe, gonna be hard for the res. Even harder when Logan spams the body.
Yeah, they're not going to let that body be picked back up now. Just going to have to play sight on the side of Rutgers. Prof is about half health at the moment, so a lot more lying onto Cartier, who does have quite a bit of utility available here. Got a Paranoia, already ready for the close contact up towards I really like that play going over towards stairs, but it's not quite enough. Now a 1v2 situation. Ming already deep on lane will close things out. 5-1 here for Fisher.
Solid look on the util for this team on the defensive to make sure those players can't conveniently get their way in. They have the inkling that Moon Coffee has possibly moved through that smoke. Throw the nano swarms down to force them into the log angle to find that look and make sure none of their teammates are able to help as well because of what is that initial smoke, that initial vision denial. So opportunity looks good for them. They translated into what is a pretty easy round win with such a strong number advantage.
Operator online for the first time here for either side as Cloric does decide to pull this one out. At the very least, in this eco round, we're going to have Moon Coffee with that tool to fall. So looking towards him to be a bit of that saving grace for the team at the moment.
Play? Let's play.
Try to get as much value out of the ultimate as possible. One already crossed over, but you're going to see the Shroud step back over towards a lobby. This is the heaviest amount of presence that Rutgers have actually shown towards A main as well.
Bring them down.
Yeah, they're going to look to play directly head-on with this one-way. Prowlers come through, see nothing, but their heart players deeper into this angle. Sheriff shots will be there for CECC, will not catch the damage onto him, though. So the KO's chilling over towards Cat. Visa Type still going to try to work this angle, though. Play his way ever so further into it. And just like Bees, the Honey Fisher are going to be double stacked onto this angle.
I'm just holding the flash drive. This is the first time that Beast is okay.
Yep.
Gonna be shut down first
switch.
blood, but that's the first time Beast has actually contacted up towards Cat without throwing that boom bot.
Yep. Definitely, that lack of information does come to hurt you. A nice little bait and switch as well. But it's like initially into the angle with a rifle, then to bring the off into it, the bigger guns into it, make sure you have that frag secured. Mango secure a frag onto Freda over towards B main, so there's no opportunity on the other side of the map. And with no additional reswing, no additional contact, and now a recon to confirm. Okay! Moon Coffee will confirm a frag on a Cloric back of Dice. A nice tour de force flick to come through. We'll see if they can create opportunity off, and suddenly they are. Prof has found another. Second tour de force shot has gone awry. Opportunity still to reconfirm. Dory's picked up two. Moon Coffee still hasn't been able to make it out for another look. The op so hard to take space with and can't make it happen. Logan will finish the job at 6-1.
The Paranoia was really nice to zone those players, not allow the double swing to come out. And now we're looking at 5 more rounds in this half. Another bye to come through for Rutgers. We're actually going to hear them call this time out as well. And I think what's scary for them on this next, not eco, but this next bye for them is the fact that on the side of Fisher, they've got ults for days to work with.
So I feel like thus far this time it really goes for Rutgers in terms of where do we get space and how do we get that space. Cat's been difficult. It's been one-wayed by that Omen. A-main's been difficult. It's been one-wayed by that Omen. B's been difficult. It's been consistently blocked by that Killjoy. Ash, if you're the coach, if you're on these comms, what is your answer?
I think it's really hard to say. I mean, when it comes down to it, the way that Fisher College is playing is they're playing really passive contact on usually one side of the map while aggressing on the other side of the map, using that ebb and flow opportunity. Rutgers has been, the trend has been a lot of just like early utility contact usage out the early round, trying to push them off of angles, but very rarely do they actually follow up on that utility if it's in the extremities. Of course, they do so towards mid, but I feel like Fisher College It's more so a conversation about the fact that they're countering the mid play really well with how they're playing Crossfires on site.
Yeah, definite util coming out early rounds. It's the confirm off of that util. If that util does get confirmation, because in the instances where we've seen Roomba go down towards Cat, we haven't seen it find anything. When we've seen Prowler come through a main, we haven't seen it found anything. So it's definitely hard to confirm when the util doesn't give you the info that you would want it to. So it's been difficult. A minute for Rutgers to think about it, and we'll see what that transpires into.
I just like to see maybe go into the conditioning that they've done with the utility and then maybe play like a dry contact up in pairs. I think could work really well for them, considering the fact that they normally do push off of that util, at least in towards mid. But now we're going to see the same kind of thing. Different location with the Prowler up towards arches, but the rotation back towards spawn, and really lacking on drawing out too much util from the defenders.
You know what time it is, Ash. The double contact setup towards A main right now. The paranoia in the hands of Dory, tucked here towards Wine. The power spotted out, it will not. They'll take that contact. That's perfectly played for the Killjoy thus far. But the 0 points come through. You're caught out with nothing. You can't Shroud a step away. You can't paranoia out of dodge. Moondrops will have that one. And finally, they've got themselves some space. Rutgers will play their way into the A site.
Really nice counter drone, though, to tag one, allow maybe a spam to come through. Cartier's going to have to tuck in front of Dice here, but spike initiated by Rutgers. This is their opportunity in a post-plant situation.
This lockdown going to come through. No command as well. Don't have any opportunities. A leg comes through. Not enough to finish the job, but enough to do damage, most definitely. Can they reconfirm after the initial space taken? 2 players detained is so very difficult. Rest of the players going to sit their way towards Wine, and still they stay alive. Front end Guardian found 2. Logan to trade back, but is it too little too late for the Fisher retake? Showstopper's out, and yes it is! It's AoE damage! So rarely do we get to see a Showstopper confirm. Well, we do in no other place than the Rutgers New Brunswick campus.
Man, what a
It's
way.
his first 2 kills of the game.
Hey, it's a showstopper, right?
Whatever it takes.
Got to get that confirmed somehow, but now the beast type is on the board. Rutgers hopefully looking to swing the momentum into their direction because, again, their eco is a little bit more fragile. But with how close some of these rounds have been, they've managed to whittle Fisher down here and there. They do have 2 ultimates online here for Fisher. Logan just 1 first blood away from the Hunter's Fury.
So deep out of Cat. They've been so patient, so consistently, that Cartier is none the wiser to that opportunity. Clark has that one for free. Had so many players to choose from as well down that tiles position. Will now head away after the fade util swings on through.
And that's the first time that nobody's really played contact up really early round towards Cat or have the Prowler come out early. So that was a really big gamble for Clark to actually try to push out that deep.
Now, always rolling the dice early into the contact such as that. And well, sometimes you just grab yourself snake eyes, you grab yourself deadlock targets and an opportunity to grab an off shot. So numbers advantage early. Rutgers going to take space up towards mid. Door's already closed. So if you want to play the contact on the B split, you got to give the info away. You do have space towards CT, though. It's like not going to recognize will fill the gap.
Psyche also has the 0 point here, but doesn't really need it knowing that the Prowler is going to show presence. We'll use it anyways just to gather info on maybe who is playing there. Turret, though, will be the first contact towards B main and does fall actually to that fragment. These 2 hype. Good to secure a kill here on Ming. Now trying to pinch Logan here in B main.
Trying to is definitely the word. Front going to be taken out. A second look for Logan as well as that B-main position gets held. A third look to go with. The Sova's going off right now. Paranoid to come through. A swing for the Sova and a 4K to be secured.
Man, shutting down the momentum that Rutgers is trying to swing into their direction at the very least. Still have enough money to buy into this next round on the side of Rutgers. For Fisher, though, they do have that Hunter's Fury now online. Blade Storm will be really nice as far as in case Floric does find himself in some sort of sticky situation. But when you got KOs on either side, pulling out those eco ultis are always scary.
Spawn walls are dropped, and all of Rutgers will be outside of the V main position. Now we've seen Fisher more willing to take space when it comes towards mid, and here is another example. They've already sent 2 players up towards Archway. Nothing spotted on the early contact. They won't push themselves too far. You know, this team, they have. Here's the walk down towards B. Hunter's Fury on its way. He grabs tags. He grabs more than that. Front will be fragged. No additional look, though.
No. First blitz, though, towards site. B free for the taking. Clearing a boathouse here as Fisher are just playing diligently for a retake situation. Spike will be initiated now. Fisher trying to funnel back in, shocks to do damage.
They'll have this recon to look for as they try to get themselves back into the site. There's a whole stall for now. That one way going to do a bit of work. Is just so much smarter, so much better.
So upsetting.
Beast will find that one. Ming has a wall bang as well. Moon Coffee will fall to the same fate. Cartier will pick up one, but still so much work to do for these two players left on the post plant. Prof caught from the back of the boathouse. Damage we have from Cartier turned on by Ming. He's too smart. Prof will pick up one, and Gloric instantaneous trade. 8-2 as Fisher lead by 6.
Man, it's the fact that Beast was wallbanging there. That was kind of when you felt like the energy shift on the retake as well. That was like the green light for Fisher to actually go in with fast momentum, go in with speed, and that's heartbreaking too to actually
To be the player on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
And the same thing to come through for Moon Coffee. Logan definitely starting to show the prowess of not just the Sova, but themselves in the server. Almost breaking what is 20 kills and what is 10 rounds of Valorant.
The thing is, Logan's been really good for those first bloods. It's like the B main control has been such a pain for Rutgers, as Fisher's always so good at claiming that or just denying any space to push out from there. A quick scope in for Chloric, not able to.
Wallbang from Logan is not down. Oh,
nope.
High. Almost caster curse you, Frodo, but hey, good job getting out, brother. 30 HP left to the KO's name. Gonna try to find their way out towards Tile. Chloric has moved this op to start towards the top of Capped, to move towards B main, and now for the Tile cross. So reading where this team is going and having the op already posted up has been quite nice. This team will move their way over towards A main, that team being Rutgers, and Fisher haven't seen anything B, haven't seen anything mid, should know about this one, but it will be that ult, as mentioned, the Nightfall to get them to site.
Plus, there is that 0 point that just went out B main as well. You can see now the fast rotation being pulled. Nightfall to come out. They're looking to explode onto site now for Rutgers.
Trying to come through to block that Hell player out. Ming has picked up one Beast to Hype a second ago with it. A third. They cannot get out the choke, and Dory will finish it off through that dark cover. Fisher 9-2. The defense so very strong, and the util used wisely.
That's what I think Rutgers has been struggling with, is just leaving them with a little bit too much on the defender's side to stall in any blitz sort of situation. I like that Rutgers has been switching things up. They're trying to keep things fresh, but the counter from Fisher is just too strong right now.
Yeah, that's why your point of dry contact definitely does have so much value. The fact that when they do throw a util, they try to clear those initial angles because they know that Fisher, if they are on the angle, is probably going to win what is that mechanical 1v1. You throw that util, now they know you're here, and that means Fisher doesn't have to use intel gathering utility because it's given to them via sound cues.
It's also been a struggle to get rid of that Killjoy util, right? But with the null command, that's not going to be much of a feat for them this time around. A site free, as Fisher played for the full retake situation. They're going to put a lot of pressure on this post plant.
One Sprayers found one, Cartier going to fall. That is the smokes out of the post plant. Workers have got their way into the A site. They got a plant down to lock down, looking for the retake.
Yeah, you can see outside of Fisher, they're checking towards Cat as well, making sure no one's reflanking through, but Logan with the wall bangs to kick things off. Lockdown once again.
Yet again, another player to Jane. It'll be Fade this time around. Chloric has walked out of the Cloudburst and found one with the shorty. Logan has found a 3K off in front of trade one. It's like he's right back in the other direction. It's 10-2. And just like there's 8 HP left on the KO, there's an 8-round advantage for Fisher College.
Switching sides. Man. Rutgers really likes to try and bait, you know, in that lockdown situation, have one get caught in it, have those players towards wine, but the Cloudburst is just, they know at that point, right, for Fisher, they know what the plan is, and now we're gonna...
Yeah, so we sit towards halftime. We got to give some love to the sponsors making this whole event possible. Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education and leadership as an Army officer. You'll learn to be a decision maker and a mentor in any environment at any scale. It's a challenging path, but the choice is simple. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
Whew. Okay. Well, it's definitely a war being waged right now between these two teams, Rutgers and Fisher. And Logan is just... Yeah, I think he's 22-4 now.
I don't know, but I'm scared just to be in the same room with him.
That's valid. That is valid. Now we're going to see a creep up here towards Market on the side of Fisher. Really early push out and aggression coming out from Rutgers, earning them the first blood. But will continuing to aggress be their downfall?
Yeah, that triple contact, but it is on to that lurk player. So the rest of the squad still able to work their way into now what is the A site. They work through mid. They got that space into what is the defender spawn. And now Fisher's able to walk into A site. We're going to plant down the chance of the post plant. Dory will throw an early dark cover over towards Doran. They'll just spam on through it. Psyche's found one. Logan another. Trades back right now for Rutgers to continue in the winning ways. Psyche's picked up another. There's trades all across the board. It's chaos coming through the smokes as players just look for opportunity. Dory alone to her generator now in a 1v2. Suppression gone. Util back to be used. And Frado will nail the headshots with the ghost to finish that one off.
Oh my stars. Like, man. Okay, Beast was also so low in that situation. It was just like a shot straight through the teammate, but this pistol round for Rutgers was absolutely pivotal for them to allow them to buy up in round number 2. Then hopefully for Rutgers, what they're looking for in this round is going to be a really strong bonus, right? To just try and keep that edge up if possible. So if I were Fisher, I mean, obviously they're feeling hot. They probably think that they could take a Thrifty. We never know what's going to happen. But I think the plan here would be really to just try to take as many guns out of the hands of Rutgers as possible, even if they can't win the round.
Absolutely. 0 Point has found the Omen early towards Cat. Shut down the opportunity for Smoke Terminal and multiplay their way. Scaling. Boombots come through. Spotted Ming. Once again, the lurking player outside of B main. Was spotted out by what was a triple contact push in the last round. Having that space in this one. Cork has taken all that space already up towards Cat, up towards Garden. Caught the Omen. Has caught a gun for their trouble. Frodo's going to pick up one over towards A main. Dory going to fall. Fragment out to deny extra space. They've already walked their way towards Cat. You know that, and well, no one's looking on the angle. Frodo has no help, and that's led to Logan grabbing a frag, is grabbing the site.
Froth actually able to dodge that damage from the shocks. Both down early on. The paint shells could be the downfall here, of course. Somehow dodging. But Beast does come out on top. Now down to the wire, a 2v3 situation here. Rutgers on the defense. And Fisher looking to convert this round in their favor.
Awful looking to walk towards Scaffold. Recount's going to be out. Logan on the Moontalk. He will swing into the dart. He does not care. Has found one traded out though. But the Frenzy of Psyche, a 1v2 for Prof. Took to hold on to the anti-eco. Picked up one, now 20 HP, and Ming will refrag it. It's a thrifty round converter from Fisher. It's 11-3.
That just emotionally is a really tough pill to swallow. I think it came so close, but that early pick coming out from Cork really set the tone for Fisher to continue with that momentum. Now Rutgers, they won't have a bonus in sight. It's going to have to be an eco with pistols up against these rifles.
Yeah, emotional damage definitely coming out of what is that refrag to finish the round. Economic damage clearly to be surmounted as well. Now they're on to the eco instead after what is an anti-eco gone very much awry. And already playing down by such a deficit. Does not make you feel any more comfortable to have to play down from match point if they cannot find a thrifty of their own.
If B-Side can find Dory here, though, that would be a Vandal in hand. Decides to actually jump back. And you can see Moon Coffee already pushed out all the way here towards Fountain.
Moon Coffee in all this space. No second rendezvous totem up just yet, so get out of the angle. It certainly has found some room to work with. 0 Point's found Dory. That'll be the spike barrier. They won't know that information. They will know at least the Omen, the smoke player, is chilling to the top of Gelato.
Okay, Cloud burst row, a fragment to zone a player towards Market, and contact walk up here for Fisher, but Flutta, with the off angle, able to secure the first blood of this round.
Korg has looked up into that Market angle now as well. Hasn't played into it just yet, but has activated the dash window just in case scenarios get shaky. If they have not, they'll be chilling. They'll hold into this contact, waiting for that spike carry to finally make it through to A main over to B.
Crowley will find Logan. Floor there for the refrag. Make that a second damage to go out here towards CT as well. Spike initiated by Fisher. Rutgers looking to retake, equalizing in 2v2.
Hello, Fade with equalized numbers. As mentioned, Prowler on its way. Dory swinging out towards lane has found Beast Eye. The higher HP player, Haunt out moving quick, and Ming will break Prof's HP bar. 12-3. 3 guns drop, not too bad for Rutgers. Now you got to play all the way back. 9 rounds needed in a row to get this game to overtime.
Ooh. Null command available on both sides here. And for Fisher, they're also just one away from that Blade Storm, but likely to more so see investment maybe going in towards the lockdown of Ming, being only 2 away from that ultimate, having a lot more value, I think, in this round. So what we're looking here towards Fudda is going to be some sustenance, some survival to pop that, but Fisher will be quicker to the draw.
We're out for one. Execute coming through, and it is not slowing down. Cloric and Psyche going to find themselves some as well. Mooncopy from Scaffold looking to be a saving grace. Has picked up one, has to get a lot more than that, though, and cannot refrag by Ming. And Froth, the Judge player, in a 1-on-4. And the door is down as well. You got to break through this, and then you got to break through 4 players of Fisher College if you want to keep yourselves going down 1-0.
They look like they just want to hunt at this
Yeah,
point.
you know.
Yeah, there's
Flash
no
FF swung on, and Psyche will finish it out. 13-3, Fisher College have map 1.
The timing of pulling out the classic there, it was like, okay, I'm ready to break the door now. And then that's the second they start to roll on through, right? But damn, first map, a clean sweep. I was expecting that one to be a little bit closer, but it seemed like Fisher just had an answer to every question that Rutgers asked.
Yeah, the defense just looked very, very good. I mean, never once did we see Rutgers able to find themselves a way to get on through that utility. I think you talked a lot about the fact that that team consistently is looking to find contact off of what is their boom bot up towards Cat, what is their Prowler through A main through what is that one way, but they just never can confirm off of it because that util's not getting the confirmations. It leads to a lot of util for Fisher College still in the pockets before they actually get into needing to stop executes, needing to throw util to Sol. So down their favor, and the mechanics definitely in their favor as well. Like with players like Logan just leads up.
Yeah, Logan was going crazy. I mean, you really can't say anything other than that when it is coming down to a lot of gunfights, right, in that situation, too. But going back to the picks and bans, first map under the belt of Fisher. Now, for map number 2, we're looking at Fracture.
Yeah, we're looking at Fracture, and I'm curious, this one, you mentioned the fact that it is a very momentum-based map, but it's also an incredibly team-reliant map. There's a ton of push and pull when it comes to Fracture. Your team needs to be able to work consistently well together and needs to be able to time their execute and when those utilities do come through to be able to make good on the space that you're able to create. And I think we got to see from Fisher on that Ascent map with their ability to get into mid defensively when Rutgers has given that space away, that they know how to play that push and pull. So it definitely makes you nervous if you're Rutgers to go into a map like Fracture.
Fisher's a very fluid team in that kind of sense. And I think that for Rutgers here, after now seeing Ascent coming out from Fisher, we'll hopefully be able to find some sort of counter to the fact that off of their util, you can see Fisher plays far back. They kind of wait for the util to be expended, then push back onto those angles. And then you have to make a decision, am I going to continue to contact up here, or am I going to continue to expend utility that often aren't rechargeables in a round really early on?
Right, yeah. Non-rechargeables, looking at what is the boom, but what is the Prowler out so early does make things very awkward. I will say, Raze is a pretty common agent when it comes to playing Fracture, so they'll have at least that in their pocket, a solid Raze player, and B's the hype to be able to take into this map. Things going to look interesting, though. That was map number 1 map pick of Rutgers.
Yeah.
And when it comes to playing Ascent for your map 1 pick, it tells me that you're wanting to play what are more fundamentally simple maps as opposed to what is an incredibly complex map of Fracture.
And that's the thing. I think Fracture is a bit of a wild card when it comes down to it. There are a lot of options as far as play styles and whatnot. Meanwhile, with Ascent, you have, like you said, very fundamental styles of play.
Right.
You're playing contact. You've only got, X amount of avenues. Meanwhile, with Fracture, you've got the zip lines. You can go brazy with the rotations. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're able to counter the ebb and flow of Fisher and find their own rhythm.
Yeah, I think Fracture gives you more mind game ability, as mentioned with the zip lines. It gives you 2 more ult orbs. You try to work with the ult farm faster, and you can get just so complex so quickly with your team. The ability to ult farm at what is that double charge rate, the ability to take space up towards hallway, to take space towards arcade, to take space on both sides of the map simultaneously. It's the only map, every map in Valorant has a gimmick. That's just kind of the thing. That's how it goes. The Split already had ropes. So the gimmick that we look for onto Fracture is the fact that those defenders spawn in the middle of the map, and then the attackers get to spawn around. So it's an interesting look to come through. It makes, there's just so much work that you have to do on both sides of the coin, really. You got to get into valid point. You got to be able to make sure you've got solid attacking executes, and you need double the executes because there's double the avenues.
Yeah, I think for Rutgers as well, it'll be interesting to see if they're able to find a way to draw out more of that early on utility from the defensive side of Fisher, because when it came down to it, we really only saw Fisher expending their rechargeables in the early round. They'd pop those really early on, try and find some sort of information, whether it's finding a player or finding absence of players, and then hold. Because they didn't really have that pressure being put on them to continue to expend it in the mid-round until a lot more contact was coming through. But then at that point, it was just a lot of stall potential through the chokes.
Right, it gets so very hard to be able to set up a solid default when the defensive opposition is constantly switching up their own look. They're moving Clork with that operator. They're bringing the one-way in different locations. They're moving the Killjoy utility around. It gets so very difficult to be able to know where to put your util to make sure you're able to sniff out players. It creates the essence of needing to use more utility, as mentioned. I don't want to ramble on rechargeables, but I think it definitely does come down to the fact that if you have to use utility in order to clear angles, it's obviously best to use the util that's going to come back.
Yeah, just to kick things off, right? But, man, Fracture's going to be really interesting. Do you think we're going to see a Neon come out for either of these teams?
Based on the 13-3, I do.
Yeah, you think
I actually do.
Okay.
I think Fisher will run it.
You think Fisher is going to run the Neon, no Jet, no Rays?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah?
I think when we got to see them start to swarm their way into mid, especially using Sova Dart to take themselves into retakes, I think they're a team that can play very fast and knows when the go button needs to be pressed.
Yeah.
So I think they're a team that will give us the look. I hope to see it, man. Hey, they have my headsets on right now. Yo, play a Neon for me. Come on. Do me a solid.
I should yell up onto the stage right now. Put Neon in the server. But we're going to find out. Okay, right off the bat. Yeah, Psyche's going to be
Yes, sir. That's my boy right there.
Okay.
Hey, dab me up after the game.
I'm feeling this. You've got the Brim as well, so the stim plus the high gear makes for money moves. Wait, double duelist?
Yeah, I just noticed that too. Okay, Andrew, I was going to say, like, there's a role swap that's being done to make that possible, but I guess there isn't a role swap if Clork stays on the duelist and Psyche will move over to what is now a Neon in addition. So this team's going to go fast. They're starting the attack as well. They've got a stim beacon, they've got a Neon, they've got the Rays, they've got themselves the opportunity for the breach, and still lurk potential, still sentinel potential in what's going to be the chamber. So they've got anti-lurk, and they also got ability to lurk for themselves in the chamber. So this team's going to play fast, they're going to play quick, and they're going to be unforgiving. They just took down what is a 10-round lead to finish off map number 1. Now we're on their map pick. They've got the momentum, and they've got the aggression. You got to find answers early if you're Rutgers.
Yeah, I think there's definitely potential for Fisher to snowball in this situation. And Fracture is a pretty momentous, heavy map. Like, once you find that rhythm here, it can be really, really easy to just oppress your opponents and make them, like, throw them off their game as well, right? But Fisher's not out of the game. Rutgers is not out of the game quite yet. We're just kicking things off. We might see a really different play style coming out from this team on a new map, some fresh faces. But I think the big thing with Fisher as well is when they do know how to aggress, but they're also disciplined. They know when to pull back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, essence where we got to see them briefly on the attacking side. When they get that space, they're still willing to hold the angles, be on the close contact, and not give too much away. No overextensions. Even when they know they can mechanically win fights, they're not overextending into what is just absolutely rambunctious look. So they'll play in quick. There's the Neon already into sight. Use that lightning to get that spacing. For to see nothing thus far out towards Sand, and Psyche's already picked up one.
Yeah, first blood into the hands of Fisher and a really early spike as well. And they're just falling across the board. Flawless in seconds here for Fisher to set this tone for the map.
All right, here's the question. So you know this team has so much speed.
Yep.
In this composition. Do you look to play close contact to shut down the util before it comes through, or do you look to play this team on the retake? Let them throw that util out. Let them have the site. We know you're going to take it quick. Have it all good, and then look to retake it.
Yeah, but it's also Fisher. Like, you also run the risk in that situation of them trying to take your CT control.
Right.
I think for Rutgers, what could be a huge win condition for them is maybe just trying to clear out one side of the map from both sides.
Okay.
So I'd like to see maybe pushes up towards the north side or the south side as an entire team, try to swarm the attackers if they are trying to go fast. And if not, you just gather the information north side is clear and south side is where they're hitting.
Sure, so the early look, Fisher head over and clear all of tunnel control. So far away. The tunnel contact is going to be there. Prof to step forward. Hadn't had contact arcade. Wasn't sure where the look would be, and Chloric has given them the look from behind. So the tunnel flank has been good to find themselves one. Rutgers are going to push their way out towards Satellite for a bit of orb control. They'll take one on for the troubles. Beast the Hype has seen one. That Breach has seen him as well, though, so they have info on where that raise is. And Fisher, no, with that extra player over in the direction of A main, with all that space over towards B via tunnel, we can get sight down, we can get an easy plant.
But Trademark is also broken here. Fault line to come out, not going to quite hit Psyche, though, who is waiting, playing contact with Chloric as well. Paint shells, here to do a lot of damage in stall, but somehow, Freda able to come out on top for one.
Ooh, good flash jump from Psyche, still on the same. Let's pick up another one with the Guardian. Logan with the trade on a Mooncoffee as soon as it came through, and Psyche's going to finish the round. 2-0 for Fisher College. They'll keep themselves 3 guns alive for a bonus.
And this is what I was kind of talking about here for Rutgers, right? On the defender side, just finding some of that ebb and flow rhythm across the map. Sure, that was their eco round, so you can't do too much about it, but now we've got guns in hands. I feel like with the playstyle of Fisher, you really can't leave yourselves to be sitting ducks just trying to play retake either on site, off site towards CT. I think you really do have to go for that map control.
Yeah, definitely going to want to look for map control. Definitely going to want to look to keep this team at bay. We'll see if they can find themselves looks here. I do like the fact that they are playing the satellite space for that board. They're going to look to do so again here. 0 point scan the chamber early, and already this team, the Neon has barred their way out towards Sam. He has the timing through the smoke, has picked up a confirm on a kill as well. Mink traded instantly, so Freda going to pick that one on up, and there is the advantage now for Rutgers on the defensive.
Unable to find that blast back, unfortunately. We'll eat a little bit of damage for it. Fisher does manage to secure the spike plant here in bottom site of A. You can see they're clearing out towards south side, so Fisher's just trying to grab that information to know that the retake should be from CT towards Dish.
Contact now to be had. Logan going to pick up Mooncoffee. It's just going on a site. That contact not going to go their way. Freda has that look through the wall bang, and Chloric just traded that one out as well. Now a 2-on-2. A low raise though and a fragment. Need to push them away still. Enough into this angle. It's on the car here to help this team get this defense. Pick up a wall bang to pick up one and Prof off the second on the deeper angle. Rutgers will find themselves their first round of the game here in round 3. They'll shut down the bonus.
Retake played well. They are still trying to go for those flanks, find that information. I think those are really big difference makers for their defender's side. Now we're going to have full buy across the board for both teams. There is going to be the Breach ultimate, the Rolling Thunder in play for Freda as well in this coming round. And if Rutgers can secure round number 2, they'll be pushing Fisher onto an eco, and Ming also invested up to that operator.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Ming's early round looks like. Playing traditionally the lurking agent and stepping onto the operator. He's going to look for B early, has a rendezvous to get out towards CT if they push towards ramp, but they have not chosen to do so. He's taking all this space. Satellite's going to have that contact, but not enough to finish. The Breach will get that dive. We'll head R-Shade quick. That Judge finding value for Beast to hype over towards tower. Relay Bolt going to look to send them away. Can someone get into space? Yes, they can. It'll be none other than Psyche to take that one away. Get the space under the B site and the plant to come down as Rutgers yet again looking for a retake. They've got a Rolling Thunder to do it and already expended.
Okay, just trying to get out in the situation. That should be, yeah, the fragment was going to finish off that kill. Pop flash up into tower as well to delay this post plant's looking tough for Fisher.
Ming and Dory to find themselves 2 looks. Profit the trade back for even 2-on-2. Get that Brimstone ult to come down. Psyche's going to pick up Arya with the Judge. Just as Prof, step forward, has confirm on both of them towards tower. Just up to the swing. It'll find both off of it! Psyche and Dory both going to fall. Prof will find a 4K. We'll clutch at the round 1-on-2. It's 2-2 on the score line. It's all tied up.
That was a really nice walk-up contact play there. I mean, Prof didn't really have another option in that situation, because if you have the spike, you're sitting on it. Both are likely going to swing, and you just got to try and catch them off guard, right? Now, going into this eco, Psyche looking to be the difference maker with the overdrive in hand, that Neon ultimate as the eco ulti. But Prof also has the ability to shut that down with an alt command.
We're going to take the Stinger into this one. That'll be the only real weapon of any prowess here for Fisher. We want to get this round over pretty quickly. Looking to take it straight towards B. Immediately look to get a flashpoint out and space taken up towards B ramp. That space going to be given by Fisher, but recognized. Pop that overdrive. We'll see what it gets for the Neon. A lot. Clork Singer has one. Overdrive has another for Psyche. Now traded out, but he has put guns on the ground. There's rifles for Fisher to pick up here to look to try to take this round.
There's a showstopper now, too, here on the eco of Fisher. Huge difference makers and huge potential. Rutgers on the retake will continue to be stalled out, but that's all Sky Smokes already used up by the attackers.
We're the only player on towards site. Headhunter found Mooncough. The aftershock on its way. So Dory has to move, but there is a clean smoke that's shot right through. So B-Snipe still going to pick that one up. That Dory will fall. And it is one player disadvantage. A showstopper online, and it'll tuck its way up towards tower. This is a hard one.
Told the Falls to watch Cross. Gonna have to block off. The flash will deny, but there's no time. Showstopper come out trying to deny with the blast pack. The Chloric gonna shut things down with the 3K. 3-2 here for Fisher.
What a nice fault line. Logan lining that one up. As you mentioned, Ming has the cross. Logan's ready for the fault line utility, and then Chlor can come out with the showstopper. So the ultimate to swing out of what is two concussed players. Finds the first with the ultimate, an easy cleanup for the second as they're still in that concussed state.
And that's the other thing that we haven't really talked about with Fractor, right? Not only is the gimmick that it's like a really weird map when it like being a labyrinth, but you've also got 4 alt orbs to work with.
Right.
The speed at which you can get that utility online to be huge difference makers in a round is just increased if you're trying to find them.
Yeah, absolutely. It does make the early round so very crucial. And Mooncoffee going to be caught out of what is the opportunity to put out util in towards a hallway. It's just one fault line to do it. And it's space taken and occupied here by this chamber. There's the lurking agent, so they'll be here for quite a bit of time. They've got themselves a rendezvous option to head out towards spawn if they need to get back to this team, if they get space over towards B.
Just playing it slow and quiet this time around. Walking through sewers. This is the way that Fisher also always plays their B-take, is they get that sewers control, ensure that no one's pushed out from the other side. Boombot to expend towards Dice, ensure that's clear, slow contact up.
Now walk up, as mentioned. Mooncoffee going to be on the tour de force, but they'll be over towards B ramp.
This way. I'm out of here.
It'll be the call off from Fisher. It'll be early lightning lane that's going to come through from the Neon, but they'll head off of it. Ming, the only player that's going to be caught, and that's the player caught on the A site. So does that lead them awry? It does not look like it does. The lurk contact going to be there, and Fisher going to look to play their way in towards A afterwards. They've got the util out, and they've got themselves out the side as well. They'll head out towards drop. Rutgers know they have the number advantage, and they have a null command for the retake. They're going to give that space away. Prof just have to stay alive, and there's no check. Chloric taken out, and they are more than ready to bring themselves back into this one Rutgers defense.
Null command popped here as well. A wall bang there for Mooncoffee. Will take 2 down. And Rutgers looking at a flawless round. Round number 3, playing the round around Rosie, but Mooncoffee comes out on top with the 3K. Dory doing as much as he can.
Yeah, Dory looking scared for just a moment. Finds 2 isolated 1v1s. The tour de force from Mooncoffee to shut things down. And they'll grab themselves extra numbers advantage before they take that retake as well.
And that was 2 ultimates expended to put the round into the pocket of Rutgers, but they're keeping Fisher on their toes this time around. Much closer matchup in the early round, in the early half, and putting a lot of pressure into the money of Fisher. This time we're seeing Rutgers with that large savings that they're able to amass for themselves as far as money goes. Fisher struggling in that kind of scenario though, but at the same time, that can turn on a flip of a coin.
Suppression. There's your one going to come on its way through. It's attacked the chamber. Well, the chamber's given the presence away, and Walls caught the HP bar down as well. So 5 HP left for Ming. Mooncoffee looking for a confirm, but they'll zip on away. Rutgers have cleared all the space for the satellite. They got themselves in order for their troubles.
Just playing under dish here. Trademark still up, and a retake. A lot of pressure towards dish from Rutgers in a post-plant situation. You can see Fisher, they've cleared out towards the south side, but we'll get timings on that reflank.
It's going to be hard to get their way back out towards drop. That showstopper looking to lead the charge. It's going to catch sight. Can't quite find the spray in time. Ming has 1 card here to go back to the direction. Ming a second with the operator now at a dodge with the rendezvous. For that has Logan take the breach away from this one on the post plant. Make things ever so more difficult. And another advantage for Rutgers as well. Dory's picked up Freda. Rifle to be secured. It's going to throw down yet again onto what is a second look from the Brims. They'll both expend ultimates into this round, and Dory's he hits it through the ultimate. It does not matter. Doesn't need vision. Knows where the spike is planted. There is no defuse opportunity, and Fisher College will have themselves a lead yet again.
They're also carrying the operator into the next round right off the back of that, but both teams played that round incredibly well. I really like that retake pressure towards Dish. It's a lot easier to funnel in from that location now with the fracture changes that came out a couple patches ago. And then, man, for Fisher, that saving grace was really the blind shot with the operator.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at, like I said, just on the flip of a dime, the potential to push Rutgers into that same awkward positioning with their money.
CECC looking to flood their way up towards Sand. Been looking from Bill before was an opportunity comes their way. Again, New Coffee bolstered up here onto the angle. Is going to find value for this early throwing out the Rolling Thunder. CECC already is going to have this space though. CT picked up one, no second though. Profit trade.
Okay, 3v4 situation and a 3v3. Stuck in Sands here for Fisher. Chloric, though, just spraying and praying. Ming flashed up, unable to land any shot. Prof through the smoke. And another wall bang to come through there for Cartier. 4-4 for Rutgers.
Such an interesting micro play that's coming through there. There's one player that is looking on that angle while the other is trying to make opportunity on towards site. They're flashed out, though, so I have no idea that Prof crosses there. Leads the player under sight completely caught off guard, has no idea that the player's cross gets caught out. That's too low, so it creates confusion and allows for the final swing from Cartier to finish the round.
Yep. Now pushed onto an eco here for Fisher. Did you have a Rolling Thunder available? Unlikely to see that be used. I would like to see maybe effort even put into getting some other ultimates online for the next round on that buy. The combat stick up will allow for a really quick push onto Dish here. Trademark Cardi taken down.
Oh, that op shot just goes awry. CECC still caught though. Fred will be out CT. He'll do the job for the teammate. He's got his back in that direction, but no one has his. So Dory will pick up the look with the Sheriff. They got their way to sight yet again. Fisher on this eco. Can they make some magic happen off it?
What I really like is the fault line into the aftershock combo. Like, you concuss them, you stun them up into potentially not being able to get out. Doesn't come to fruition this time, but we are going to see the Rolling Thunder coming out from Fisher to continue to delay time. The retake here for Rutgers. B-Type only had the judge in hand. Will blast back in. And now last player standing, Cartier, in a 1v2.
Second old expended the showstopper, going to guarantee B-Type going to fall. Fault line taking cuss Cartier, and now will step into what is a one-on-two. Both players stacked up and doesn't even need the second look. Slogan on that first contact with the Stinger to finish it out. 2 rifles for their troubles and a thrifty round converted for Fisher, a 1-round lead.
Neck and neck in this matchup. You can see that Rutgers has definitely found a lot more of their rhythm compared to Ascent. Able to just also have the endurance from that, the mental from the previous matchup to now just try and keep things as close as possible is also a big difference maker. A lot of teams, you might see them just fall flat in that kind of situation.
Check out mentally.
Yeah, and I would want to say that, like, Rutgers, they're doing a really good job of just keeping that vibe up. Absolutely.
Keeping the vibe up and the round scores up as well. This one pretty much closer already. You've got more rounds in this first half than they had the entire last game. They look to play themselves onto the central eco. They have the first pick, and well, the Boombot will have Freda traded out. That first pick player. Cartier in the smoke has an opportunity on CECC and will make good off of it. Can't get the second look on the frenzy. Come through. Dory's picked up one, Logan another. They've isolated into what is a 1v2. KO on a long road over with a Vandal in hand.
Yeah, so it does have a gun at the very least in this 1v2. A lot of util available as well. We'll have the whole kit going into this round, right? But they're doubled up here in tower. The question is, do they line up like last time?
The initial contact off on the rope has damage, but not enough for a frag. 18 HP left for Dory. A 6-4 score line, a 2-round lead for Fisher College, the biggest lead we've seen so far this game.
This next round is pivotal for Rutgers to tie things up for halftime. Otherwise, they're going into the last round of the half without a bye, so it's really important for Rutgers to be able to secure this round to avoid giving Fisher a larger lead going into half number 2. There is still that orbital strike available here for Fisher. We've seen Dory use that really well for some zoning on the other team.
Suppress it. 0-point with the tag on to the raid. The rest of the squad is trying to look for lane between the Makes found one. The op has been out op. Clean headshot from Beast too high. It's going to push this team away. Fisher going to have to head to the A side as well with what is a lower number team. They can find their way out. This guy's smoke is giving them scaling up towards hallway. They'll scale all the way through. Additional smoke to the drop angle, and they do have space towards sight. One more on the cross, though. There's Prof on the early contact. He's caught by Logan, now even numbers.
That's a really tough angle to be holding though for Prof. It's like you really don't have any way to get out. 3D boxes are so thin. But 3v3 on this retake, you're gonna see Dory pushing up here. Will be punished for it by Moon Coffee with the blast pack once again to deny any sort of precision. And Beast type will be shut down by Chloric. That pivotal round erased for Rutgers. Fisher taking it 7-4.
Last round
7-4.
in the half.
Rutgers, as mentioned, no money going into this one. Needed the round, couldn't find it. We're looking at what should be an 8-4 score line if Fisher are able to send this one the right way. There's ultimates to work with the Rutgers University side and, of course, a home crowd behind them as well. Can they turn that into a closer score line going into the next half?
There's potential to have all 5 ultimates online here for Rutgers, so they're going to have to pull out all stops, right, to try and take this 7-5 instead of that 8-4. Make it a little bit easier for that pistol round to come to fruition. Twillicross popped right off the bat. Psyche trying to deny any defender's aggression with that relay bolt.
Oh, tough lightning lane. Literally gives them clear vision, funnels in the frags, the bullets, and Wilt caught out. Proper found one, Logan another. No command to come out to try to shut the util down to make sure this team doesn't execute that side, and there's no way they're going to. I think he'll be caught over towards tunnel, the only player in this direction. That lurking chamber, and Fisher having to rethink where they want to go with this one. Possibly the Rolling Thunder to come through. You know those players are on site. Rolling Thunder doesn't look too bad coming out of tunnel.
No. They have source control though. However, Rutgers does throw out the boombot just to see if they can find any information towards Arcade. It will lock onto one player on Fisher. And what was going to be a rotation, 50 seconds left. They're still creeping back towards the east side.
Contact there, Dory. Escape with their life. And we'll get both. We'll get the orbital strike, we'll get the Rolling Thunder, and we'll get the Tour de Forces out exchanging blows. To steal the numbers advantage for Rutgers. Fault lines out, 30 seconds left in this round. Fisher College have to make a decision, and that decision's going to be the rotate.
Yeah. That was the last smoke on Fisher's side as well. Dory expending that for the cross to give that little bit of pressure still towards Rutgers, not really knowing if did they cross towards tower or are they rotating back towards A. But now with 15 seconds left, Rutgers, they've got to know.
Spike planted.
Lumpioff will be on the angle towards rope. Both players going to come towards hallway. Might be good to catch this Fisher post playing off guard. With those players coming in that direction of B-ramping around. Rolling Thunder are going to give head now. It'll have just one tag onto the player. Ming under sight. He's already been caught out. Dory on a tough angle, under drop, but can't find it. Prof the KO, find both frag, 3K in the round. And Rutgers will manage to scrounge it together. Take what they can, take the rainy day change, and cash it in for a round win.
Huge too, considering the broken bye that they had going into that last round. But now we are going to head into halftime once again. And
yeah, with that said, we got to give love to the sponsors at halftime. Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll learn to be a decision maker and a mentor in any environment at any scale. It's a challenging path, but the choice is simple. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
Ooh. 7-5. And Rutgers looking to take the pistol round once again. Really close matchup in map number 2 here of Grand Finals of the CECC East Qualifier. Man, number 1 secures that golden bag into Nationals.
That does 1,500 trip to CECC 2023. It just feels so good if they can make it happen. And that is 2 nice shots early at the Headhunter. Ming's going to find 2. He's going to take out that duelist initiator combination. And it's so very difficult to get your way through that util now. That Sky Smokes come down. Fisher have secured themselves some time. And you really got to think about this one for Rutgers because you got 2 players on your flank.
Yeah, make that 3 players on the flank. Moon Coffee's about to have a rude awakening right now. At least does get taken down with Ruba, but 3 frags do come through. Fisher with this aggression towards a main are just going to look to pinch Rutgers here. Quetta trying to do as much as possible. Does do a lot of damage, but Fisher, they come out on top.
They're so low, but all you can do is think about what that one could have been. It's being out early. with that headhunter able to step through the chamber utility to rendezvous away after those 2 shots. We feel so confident taking it, and confident for good reason, backed it on up to get themselves that look. 8-5 going to be the scoreline. No attempt at any sort of shenanigans here. There's no buy-up from Rutgers. They're going to play a solid anti-eco. Look to grab some ult orbs into this one. Look to possibly grab a plant.
Okay, really aggressive start to the round here for Fisher. They're looking to run it down. Beast type trying to get the right click down, not able to do so. And that deep smoke to come out from Fisher as well zones the rest of Rutgers off from any trades. Now Fisher trying to re-clear towards Arcade. Will creep through sewers. Freda in a scary position.
Oh my, scary position and jump scared as we got back over there. Logan gonna catch that one. And Fisher will have themselves the first 2 picks of the round. Stepping still towards A all the way. Glor gonna find one with a satchel. Rare you get to see that kill come through, and 2 more with a stinger to finish the round. 9-5, a flawless anti-eco for Fisher College.
I really do think it was hilarious that we actually saw the panic jump though when they realized they were like, oh my god, they're right here. But now Fisher 9-5, just 1 away from double digits. Bonus to come through, and another pivotal round for Rutgers to secure on their anti-eco.
Fisher been dangerous on some of these bonus rounds, close to converting or at least bringing it within just that last player. So we'll see if they can find themselves that economic value yet again. Need to definite strong hands in the half. Moon Coffee going to find Lord early. Prof as well. They try to find that early scaling satellite. They're going to be caught out. One more opportunity for Logan. Does have a flash point to pick up one. The swing for the second with Spectre hasn't confirmed it just yet and just can't do so. Moon Coffee with 9 HP will hold on to their life. And now look to hold on to this drop position. Just 2 more players for Fisher on the way. And they've not finished the job. Moon Coffee's around to find another door. He's going to fall and finally shut down by Ming, but not before 3 players from his team are out the round. It's a 1-on-3 for Ming. A 4K in this round could bring it back. Full HP, full armor, but a 3-man stack up. Just can't get the job finished. Cartier will take down Ming. It'll be a 9-6 score line as we get to full rifles now.
Rutgers don't want to let this one go. Map number 1 already under the belt of Fisher in a really dominant fashion, right? And it's only a best of 3 series here for grand finals, so you want to go to map number 3. Rutgers, they have this home ground advantage as well. No ultimates online for either side, but I'm really liking the fluidity we're seeing from both teams, being a lot more adaptive, especially Rutgers than the previous round.
Snipping early out towards a hallway, and lead space taken. Boombot will catch Ming, and he'll rendezvous away. No look after it. Trying to hold on to that angle just as long as possible to see if anyone would peek, but did not find that opportunity. And all the util out for Rutgers now to execute the site, not aware that Dory's still holding under. Has found one, traded out quickly though.
Retaking here in a 4v4 situation. Spike looking to be initiated. I think that's all Sky Smokes used right off the bat, so Rutgers not going to have as much cover here in the post plant.
The chamber flank on its way. Just game trust from hallway. This one finds the value. It's got to be quick.
Yeah.
Or Rutgers have to stall for quite a bit of time with the post plant. These last 2 players looks like Cartier and Prof can do that. They found themselves too. And Moon Coffee now, he's arrived. He's been here on the flank, and he'll pick up both those final 2 frags. But adaptability, the awareness, and the opportunity spotted from Moon Coffee, so impressive.
It's just in the nick of time, too. If it had been just a second too late, the round could have turned in a completely different direction. Now, only 2 rounds do divide these teams, and Prof and Moon Coffee have their ultimates available here. The null command could be huge difference makers. And what I really like to see is when that null command is actually being saved for the showstopper on the other side, which wouldn't be too surprising to see Fisher pull out on an eco round as some kind of Hail Mary.
That works.
Interesting look early from Rutgers. They put everybody over towards this arcade side.
Right here.
Fisher will sniff it out quickly. They put 2 players up towards A main. They've seen nothing. They can relay that information now that we have nothing on the A side. We don't know about arcade, but we'll start to gather info now. Some more commands on its way to B.
Okay. Funnel through here towards the tunnel. Ming, though, with the positioning towards B main, looking back towards site, will earn the first blood of this eco round here for Fisher. Spike initiated in a hot retake right on their heels.
Yeah, Rutgers will recognize they'll give that initial space on the close contact. Fisher have that man advantage, a showstopper to be pulled out, and this would be a scenario that you don't necessarily need it in, as long as they can translate this numbers advantage into accurate trades on the retake. Looking for anything that Rutgers would give them. It's that first opportunity. Mooncoffee going to rendezvous away from what could have been a frag, though. Getting shots, nothing to be seen just yet, though, on that cross. The space has been taken. Fisher able to get themselves out of the round or two. Mooncoffee and Prof are going to have those players. Psyche to pick up one. Onto that spike, and Psyche's done it all. Clark to get involved as well. A 3K for the Neon. A 10-7 scoreline for Fisher College.
Just coming out on top with the gunfights there. Rutgers, I like the idea that they had playing together as a group, knowing that the gun advantage was in their hand, but it just wasn't enough. And now we're looking at double digits. And Rutgers, they're going to be buying up in this situation, but it's definitely not going to be a full buy across the board. Beast type will be stuck on a Sheriff alone. But Mooncoffee does have that tool to false, and has been a difference maker in this matchup with it.
It's so very rare that we get to see double duels compositions, and
you want to
pretty
play,
good on the
let's
attack,
play.
and they look just the same on the retake for Fisher College. So the fact that they're able to keep that utility alive and then send it in really does show the value. And of course, the mechanical prowess as well from Psyche to hit the shots when it counts.
But it's because they're playing that ebb and flow. They're pushing out, they're finding space and information, and that's the only way you can do it with the double duelist composition. Playing completely off-site here, knowing that the Rolling Thunder is impending, answering with a fault line of their own into a paint shell to delay.
Yeah, that round for the talking point really does play perfectly. Taking that space over towards Satellite and now looking to come back in early. Korg will fall to Prof. So space is taken from Rutgers. Fisher once again being caught in the smoke, though timing not going to be in their favor. This gets a nice frag in that direction. Randall picked up another frag onto Psyche. Firepower gone out the round. Looking at the close up towards the drop. Has picked up one, a 3K though for the Rays. Dorian a 1-on-4. So very difficult to make this one possible. Has a look for Mooncoffee, but a tour de force shot comes out too quickly. It's 8 for 10.
Constant back and forth. One ultimate
That's a good
in the hands of Rutgers right now will be that showstopper. They used 2 in the previous round to secure the win. And there for Fisher, they've got 3 available. Showstopper and the orbital strike. Huge for zoning, huge for damage, and just scaring off the opponent if and when possible. Also a really interesting buy on the side of Fisher that I just caught. They forced up full alongside the operator.
You know I always say, as long as you win the round, you can buy whatever you want.
It's true. Stinger goes brazy now.
It's a token phrase for me. Say it all the time.
It's a cat mentality. So he's just jiggling here. Interesting to see him not using actually the high gear to jiggle for that like faster peak time. Crawl back around the corner.
Very good point.
But it's a very different momentum start off here for Rutgers. They've recently been showing, I mean, they play slow early round, but tend to show presence somewhere with some utility. Will get caught out, but it's just a little bit of damage for now.
There was your answer.
Yeah.
Jiggling with the rifle in hand for the opportunity to, or the Spectre in hand, excuse me, to find the dink there. Logan and Dorigan find themselves 2 frags. So far, so bad for executing on the side. Korg rushing on down with this one, showstopper in hand.
Oh,
and,
no.
Well, your face favors the rocket. You're probably not winning that one. Profit
30
fault.
seconds left.
30 seconds left, and 2 alive here on Rutgers. Not too much map control in their favor either. Looking to reclaim some information towards Arcade, clearing out sewers. There's 1 smoke left in the arsenal of Cartier. They're looking for close contact up here with 10 seconds left.
10 seconds
Close
left.
contact is going to get for sure. Dory has 1. Cartier with a trade. Still full HP. Still an opportunity to get this rifle out the round. Has been able to find the cross. Back over towards the outside. So Satellite and will hang in that direction. No one else to hunt for Fisher. So look at 1 gun out. But definitely the trouble's not ending there for Rutgers.
Another timeout to be called here on the side of Rutgers. And when it comes down to it, I mean, we're looking at a potential match point off the back of this round, right? Money's not looking too great on the side of Rutgers. It's a question of, do we play for OT or do we play to stave off match point?
Yeah, that is the question. last round played for OT, but I'd argue kind of forced to because the money was so very limited that they're really only looking at what is SMG's light armor, and that's definitely not something you think you're going to win with. I will say, when it comes to it, if you can force and avoid having to play on the overtime, it's almost always better just for emotions. It's so very difficult to play back when you know this round, this one mistake could be it for me. So the call, definitely up to them. Timeout coming in good timing to make that decision. And I'll have to see what the decision ends up being.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, that's what they're talking about right now, right? It's
Right.
like, which call are we making? We can't really, we can't really read into it. We'll see what they do decide now that the game is starting once again.
Take the force buy.
Yeah. From what it looks like, they are going to buy into that, try to stave things off, feeling confident about it at the very least. So emotions, they're running high on their end. You can see, I mean, we've heard the hype in the crowd, right? You've got their home team. You've got the crowd cheering for them as well. And maybe trying to take that kind of energy into the plays for this match round.
And even though it is a force, it's not too tough. Some light armor, still snuck out an operator. Should be all right.
Playing very passive in spawn this time.
The jiggle forces the shuttle to main, forces the rendezvous away. So there's spacing for Rutgers to be able to scale a hallway if they'd like to. Well, they work for the space, so they most certainly do want it.
Okay, Showstopper pulled out. Sky Smoke there for a tower. Beast type crawling up towards Sands, trying to find some damage here in CT. And now that's going to be the null command out here for Rutgers as well. A site absolutely free.
Yeah, look at the range towards site. It takes 2 ultimates to do it. Showstopper finds nothing, but it does give them that space, which is honestly the more important aspect there. Beast the hype. It's going to be on this angle. Raptors, Fisher ready for this contact. They are not. Beast has picked up one as Clark's going to fall. The opposing rays will go away. Paint shell before spinning into the angle and absolutely runs it on down. Flash will be there for Prof to get Ming off to the angle and to find the frags. Sam's player going to fall. Fisher just left with 3 players on this retake to try to make this one possible. They do have their way in towards the site. They play under the smoke. They're not getting so aggressive. No spray transfer. Cartier going to have a trade in that direction. But still, Dory to push into sight. Another Sky Smoke to come up. Looking to start on this one, but it's a fragment after the volley. That's killing so very much time. 14 health, and now the orbital strike 2. Rutgers will throw everything into this round just to guarantee that they walk away with the win.
9-11 here for Rutgers as they stave off match point a little bit longer because this match is do or die for them. They could be knocked out in map number 2. They want to take it the distance. And now they have the opportunity to break the money of Fisher if they can win this round out. But that was also an expensive round for them as well. Spending all of those ultimates being used there for Rutgers to secure that win. Won't see any close to coming to fruition by the late game. Fisher have a little bit more to work with, but it seems like Rutgers after that last round, they're really savoring this pack mentality.
The whole gang is here on their way into arcade.
There.
Psyche's heard something, has given the indication that this team's in this direction. 0 point will be there, suppressed now, but before the relay book comes out, we'll solve for just an inkling of time. Is Rutgers ready for the judge that sits at the top of tower? Do they use util to clear it? Hell, do they clear it at all? They start to look to make their way towards the site. The judge is out, has damage, but no frag. Dory is able to trade one back. Instantly, though, the other Brimstone Cartier is going to have that one, and Rutgers will take their way into the site. Look at a plant down.
Fisher going for another flank on the south side, though. No trademark to watch it. But Rutgers is going to be watching diligently towards B main, right? And we're equalized here now in a 3v3 thanks to Chloric.
Chloric just can't find that secondary pick to go with it. Beside left on 30 HP. Aftershock going to push him off.
One enemy remaining.
But no one CT to confirm off the utility. So Frutta will pick up Logan and Ming, operator in hand, definitely not getting into this one. We'll take it into the next round. It'll be interesting. I don't think they force around this op, regardless of the save.
Yeah, no, I mean, their money's broken in this situation, right, for Fisher. This was like a really pivotal round to try and take match point, tried to take the match itself. The operator looking to find a lot of value in the next round for sure. But Rutgers now finding double digits for themselves, just 1 round away to equalize.
I don't know who the IGL is for Fisher, but you know they were just in their ears. 3 different times Ming went to post up on an angle there as he looks to hold. And 3 different times he pulled off that angle and kept moving further and further away to guarantee that no funny business, no Vandal one-taps out of anywhere. We want to force around your operator, keep it alive, and that they have, they forced around.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Oh, okay.
There's some forcing up full, and then there's some, like, saving.
This is better.
Yeah. Just trying to stagger it a little bit to maybe have, like, maybe a weaker buy for some of their players, a stronger buy going into the last round of their next. And Rutgers, once again, playing really slow, just waiting for Fisher to push out, knowing that on these eco rounds for them, they tend to have that aggression.
And if they have pushed out, they've played all the way up. Arcade, they've played up Satellite. Rutgers won't know they've got everything on the default side of the map instead, playing towards A hallway, the view as well over towards B ramp. So they've made no contact. Fisher's made no contact, but they gain the extra information that this team is indeed hanging somewhere around that default side.
They have the read, though. I mean, the boombot was thrown out in A halls, but now the slow rotation back over towards B main for Rutgers is read by Fisher with 3 moving here to help out their breach. But they don't have the guns to contest. That's the thing. 0 point to come through. You know it should be in blitz execution unless they decide to fall back.
Thunder picks it up in what is a perfect position towards tunnel. But it has been a call off yet again. Rutgers feel they've been read and they've headed back over towards the A site.
What they're doing is they're just running down the utility of Fisher, knowing that they don't have the money, knowing that they won't have as much 30 stall potential. Ming alone on site with the operator looking to find one. The paint shell doing so much damage, taking it down now. A 4v4 situation.
Right here.
And site still not claimed here.
Time. 15 seconds. This team has to get to site and has to get a plant down. If the Utah can come out now, the Rolling Thunder can come out now. They can't get a plant down. Psyche's out. Has found one with the operator. Logan's found one as well. And time runs shorter and shorter. And Mooncoffee's nowhere to be seen. And plant won't come down. Fisher College with what is an operator and a couple of sheriffs have walked away with the round and have taken everybody from Rutgers off the map.
After a round like that, you've got to imagine Fisher ready to close this one out. I mean, it looked like so heavily into the favor of Rutgers. The idea was there. They were running down that util on the B side. They went for the quick rotation thanks to the stim beacon. But at the same time, defender spawn is just so much shorter that Fisher was just there to answer, and they won out those gunfights.
Yeah. Clean Neon utility to stall for the extra time. Clean fault line to stall for the extra time. And of course, that Rolling Thunder, that ultimate, pushing those players away, finding the concussion, and allowing those 2 drop players to find what are those 2 very crucial frags to finish that one out. And now Rutgers having to come out of what is a shell shock of a round to find themselves 2 more to push OT.
Slow creep up. Going to clear towards sewers once again, but look at the positioning.
Dirty dog.
That's the first time that they've really pushed out in that way, held that angle, and Clark to get the second as well already. 30 seconds in. 3-5.
You're nervous here. Absolutely for Rutgers. But still look confident. Fredo will come through, take down that Neon player. No commands out. Can't really do much off of it. They've worked back towards spawn. They've reset themselves. Still 50 seconds to play.
I like the idea, though. You've got Prof throwing out that null command. It's a beacon, right? You know where the KO is because of the radius that comes out from it. Rutgers, they were looking for a rotation towards the A side, trying to draw that attention, but Fisher holding steady with the default defense.
Now 3 players will stack their way up.
30 seconds
what could
left.
be the final execute of the game. Here way towards B, the 0 point dodge by Logan. Talking close to the fall to the side.
No, not like
the third, not quite. Freda will have a trade back to the direction now. And what is a 1-on-3? Needs a 4K, a 1-on-4 clutch to win this one out. On the ground, Rolling Thunder activated a wide swing, and Dory will pick that one up. It's a victory for Fisher College, their 3rd trophy of the day as they take the series 2-0.
GG's to both teams. Fisher College showing off dominant in map number 1, but I do want to give kudos over towards Rutgers for actually having that mental to take it so close down to the wire, nearly to OT in map number 2.
Yeah, 13-3 map number 1 goes the way of Fisher College. That's on what is Rutgers' map pick, and still Rutgers walk into Fracture and look very composed, very clean, go blow for blow early, and just towards the end of the game, after what is absolute heroics of a Rolling Thunder to get that team back on foot in what is primarily an eco round, they finally falter.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you can't not win the next round off of a round like that.
Right.
It's like emotionally, you've got such a high to play off of that you're going to have that energy. You're going to have that confidence to close out the map. And now that means that Fisher have earned their slot over at CECC Atlanta 2023.
Again, this team, man, they're going to have a private jet going to wherever this national champions ends up being because they've got 3 rosters sealing the deal, walking in, Smash. What was it? Overwatch. And Valorant all going to find themselves into the Nationals. A hell of a lot of prize pool money going their way as well, $1,500 for all 3 of those rosters.
Yeah, there are only 4 games in this tournament this weekend. The fact that they ran away with 3 trophies for every single team that they brought here, insane. Great showings coming out from this college.
Yeah, great showings, and we get to see something different for them as well. Their double duels coming onto Fracture and working out for them. It's rare we get to see a double duelist look here on NA specifically, and it's rare that we get to see it find victory. So great stuff from them. They looked clean, they looked composed, and they got the job done. So got to give shout outs to my man Psyche for playing the Neon in the first place. You know, I wanted to see it. His headset was off. He did it for it. So you love to see that. And then, of course, Logan in map 1, easily the MVP. Came through, had some clutch plays as well in map number 2. If I had to give a series MVP, it's going over to Logan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. To have that early start in map number 1. But, man, God, this has just been an insane weekend. I can't believe that we're done at this point.
Yeah, I mean, over in a flash. I blinked and it was done. And same story for Fisher College's opponents this weekend as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, there's a reason why they're so high in the power rankings across all games, right? So really interesting, too, because of the fact that Rutgers has previously made it towards CECC Atlanta, so going to have to find that opportunity in another tournament this time around.
Yeah, that they are, but they've been there before. And, well, we've seen the mental from this team to be able to walk themselves back. We'll see if they can do so, but for now, we'll throw it back over to Paulie Hype. He's got the crew. Let's see how they're feeling.
East Regional event. I am here with Fisher College Valorant, who just dominated 3 out of the 4 events. Congratulations to Fisher College. They just make some noise real quick. Let's go for Fisher College. 3 out of 4 games. Absolutely dominant. You guys won in a 2-0 fashion. So we have Specialist Racer here to promote and present the CECC Finals trophy. Your team is qualified for the May CECC event. So congratulations. Take us a little bit through that game and just how you were able to be so dominant.
You know, we just went in there with a game plan. We executed it. We gave them their first map, set the pace, set the tone for the rest of the series. Second map, you know, a couple fights didn't go our way, a couple retakes, but, you know, at the end of the day, we knew what we were doing. That's 3 for Fisher. And, you know, we executed our game plan and we took home the dub.
No doubt about it. Fisher now coming in, looking dominant here as we start this new team. How's everything been going so far in the semester, and what do you guys have on the horizon that you're looking forward to?
Oh, it's been going great, you know. We're very close group of people. We love playing together. We grind every day. We're looking forward to Dallas in 2 weeks, looking to go to Brazil, you know, looking to really cement ourselves as the #1 team in collegiate. And that's what we're here to do, and that's what we're going to just keep winning.
And as a roundabout here, how was your CEC East regional weekend? Give us a little feedback here for the people at home that weren't able to experience it in person.
You know, it was fun. We got some games in. We didn't drop a map. That's what we came here to do. It was fun to come back to Jersey, my home, and, you know, play for a hometown crowd. And I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Well, you got it from the team here. This is Fisher College. I'll get out of their way quick, but they won 3 out of 4. Congratulations. Hold it up for the crowd. Welcome. As you guys also qualify, of course, for CECC in May 2023. So congratulations. What are we doing here? Is this the end of the show? We going back over to you guys? Nobody knows. So I'm going to close it. That's going to do it for the CECC East Regional. Thank you all for coming out. Hosted by Rutgers University. Presented by U.S. Army and U.S. Army ROTC. I'm Paulie Hype, and I'm done. Let's get out of here. Woo!
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to CECC East 2022. Once again, I am Septilins, and today I am joined by Sergeant Sparrow from the U.S. Army. We definitely want to take a moment to appreciate him, first for his service, and second of all, for coming out this weekend and being here and just kind of giving people an opportunity to learn about, the U.S. Army. So we kind of look at it. The Army is one thing, video games are another. So what is that link to you, I guess? What is the connection between those two?
Sure. First of all, thanks for having us out here. We really enjoy being a part of the event, seeing all the competitions taking place, and seeing the intensity that some of the competitors have for what they're doing. So why is the Army involved with this? Well, it comes down to a lot of things. One, this is an emerging market, obviously. It's a big thing going on right now, and we want to be a part of it. And what you see is not unsimilar to what you see in other sports, where the level of teamwork that takes place, the intelligence of a lot of the competitors are all things that we're looking for and translate easily to the Army. A lot of times people think the Army is just, one set thing, like somebody out in the field holding a weapon. There's intelligence, there's IT, there's all kinds of things that we do as well, and that fits very well with the type of character that you see in a lot of these competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you particularly excited for one game today over the rest? Are you waiting for something to happen?
So for me, I just really enjoy seeing Rocket League. Like, it just takes off. I think the great thing about the game is it doesn't matter whether you're just like a junior player or a very sophisticated player. Everybody can get the same level of entertainment watching it and playing it.
It's incredible that you've never heard me say that before, but I say that all the time. I love it so much because it's the game where you can sit down and you just immediately know what's going on. And it's so fun and it's so entertaining. But we are so excited to have you here this weekend. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for joining me now.
Hey, appreciate it. Let's get it on.
Of course, absolutely. So I know we've got a pretty big weekend coming up, or today coming up in particular. I know we're starting things off. We have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Started with it yesterday. We want to go ahead and start with it today. So hopefully we can take a look at that bracket. I think it's going to be looking great. Down in grand finals, home team, Rutgers. They're going to be going up against Fisher College. Fisher has been a powerhouse all weekend long, and I think they found themselves in just about every grand final. I think they've fallen a little short of at least one of them, but it's been a powerful weekend for them through and through. I'm very excited to see what these teams bring out. We saw a lot of weird plays. We saw a lot of dedicated characters and a lot of dedicated fighters there in Smash Ultimate. After Smash, we're going to be following up. You'll see a little bit more of my face with my good friend Dividing. We're going to be jumping over to Overwatch, where, again, you guessed it, Fisher College is still rocking and rolling, going up against one of the top 5 teams in the country in the form of Harrisburg. So those are 2 top 5 teams in the entire country, and it is going to be a serious knockout. You are not going to want to miss that. Of course, that's the one I'm a little more biased towards. That's the one I've spent all the weekend building up to. So we are unbelievably excited for those teams to come out, give it their all, give it their 110%, because at the end of the day, they're fighting for that first place spot. They're fighting for that opportunity to make it to the end, to go further beyond in CECC. Coming up after that will be, I believe, Rocket League. Now, Rocket League we talked about, both Sergeant Sparrow and I's favorite game to watch. It's the easiest one. You sit down, there's 6 people, they're all playing soccer, and they are always having a great time. You can pick it up instantaneously. Stockton versus Rutgers. We talked about the success of Fisher. This is the first one that we're seeing so far where they are not in those grand finals. So Stockton and Rutgers, home field advantage again. There's a home field buff somewhere because this team is everywhere. This school is everywhere. And then to close things out, we've got what else but Valorant. We are super excited to see Valorant here, and it is going to be Rutgers versus, to be determined. We are trying to get a little bit more information. Alvernia versus Fisher. We know that it's going to be Rutgers, though, so 3 out of 4. Well, a home field advantage is very clearly a real thing. I mean, that is absolutely it.
So I am here with Rutgers University for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What has your school done so far, or something in your program that you guys are really proud of?
We've competed in a couple of crew battle tournaments already. We placed second at our last one, and we're in finals for our current one right now, so we're very excited to progress on the season.
You guys had a fantastic showing, a lot of hype around Rutgers SSBU this year. What are you looking forward to making it tomorrow here for the finals at the CECC East region?
I think that today we definitely grew more confident in our entire team, working together, knowing like our game plan of going against everyone else. And I think we just feel very strong in sending in our Kazuya Mishima, our secret weapon.
Okay, you're who? Huh? Our GOAT. He's
Shark. Go. Okay, there we go. Secret weapon Kazuya. We've heard a lot about on Twitter about it. We'll see how it affects Legion teams. What do you have upcoming on your schedule here for Rutgers SSPU that you're looking forward to?
Coming next week, we have the local host North Brunswick tournament. It's a crew battle tournament, so we're excited to all compete. The A team, the B team. We're very excited for all of us to make it out there and just try our best to put a good name out.
Well, you heard it. This is Rutgers University Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we'll see them tomorrow at the CECC East Region Final. There you go. Woo!
Well done. How consistent they're going to be, and nobody's safe, and that's so very true. I mean, we got to see NJCU walk in, walk through players, walk through stocks, and then immediately they got walked through when they got off the stage.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody has that stability. Anyone can lose. It is anyone's game going into the grand finals. But also, I want to talk a little bit about Overwatch. Now, we did have 2 chances to see Harrisburg. Penn State was in the second game that took place here, and Gombers, we were really paying attention to Harrisburg. What are you thinking for their prospects here in the finals? It's Fisher College, you know, they are a strong squad, but Harrisburg is proven. Do you think that this is a big moment for Fisher?
I think it will be. I mean, obviously everything is a testament to prove yourself, but coming into this next matchup, you know, with Overwatch, I believe we have Smash first, though.
Yep.
So I do believe this is the time to kind of test your limits and really put everything you've learned to work. And like you said, not everything is completely stable. So then at the same time, you're hoping this is a good day for you as a player.
Right.
Absolutely. And also, Valorant, we're talking about that. That is also a semifinal that is taking place right now. Katner, you were on the desk. You were casting for that. What are some initial thoughts on the semifinal that's taking place, and I guess a little bit of prediction of what you think that grand finals matchup is going to be?
I mean,
it's a big one. It's a big one there.
Right. So, yeah, we know Rutgers, the home field advantage, is going to come through. They'll find their way into finals already. We got Fisher and Alvernia. They're taking place this morning, so it didn't get quite to their game yesterday. Decided, hey, we'll get the rest. We'll get in. We'll make sure we know who's the better team this morning when all of us are feeling under 100. But, man, I think me and everybody in the collegiate space, they have to give it to what is currently 6th on the collegiate power ranking. It's Fisher College. They're crazy. They're definitely on paper a better team than Alvernia, but, hey, it's day of. LAN atmosphere is definitely different, and sometimes it's that synergy of just having the whole crew here in the venue with one another, so you never know what's going to happen necessarily. And they also get a little bit less pressure this one because that game was going to be a broadcasting game. Now they get to play it in the pit, so they get that comfort of not having to be in front of the crowd, not having to be in front of the virtual audience. So I don't know if that factors into it, but we'll definitely see. If I have to take a pick, though, I gotta say it's probably Rutgers Fisher that comes through in that final.
Rutgers Fisher for the final. Hey, I mean, we'll talk about it later. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But also, we have one more matchup still here for the grand finals. It's Rocket League. It's Fisher versus Stockton. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say a little bit of host minds because we also have a talent here at the arena at CECC. It's Kilo Miles, you know, from Stockton himself. So, well, at least the university. But I want to say, hey, you know what? Throw it up to the homeboys, right? What are you thinking, Gomber, between Stockton and Fisher? And Fisher is just a proven institution here when it comes to CECC East. They have done so much. Are you thinking that, you know, a also very extracurricular team like Stockton, they're going out outside of just the regular collegiate scene? You think they could stand up to that monolith that is Fisher Esports?
But
that playstyle is very annoying in a crew battle to deal with. It's very scary to interact with that move. And also the knockback he gets out of like the confirms. Like if he gets nair to like, you know, double jump up air or like God help you a smash attack or anything from Ike is just going to be so incredibly strong that stocks can just melt. And we saw that last night with St. John. We saw a player that was like fully losing neutral, took like 110, 20%, barely hit anything, and then he's like taking stocks like 50. And this is a crew battle format. Nothing matters but the stock itself. Nothing else matters. So I think that's a very good strong
last night.
And it's really good for the opening because of how characters like that can act as a battering ram no matter how few stocks they have. Even one stock, you get caught by a nair near the ledge. That could be a reverse up B. That could be a back air towards the head.
I would like to never do that again.
If you do not have good options to get out of the air, all of a sudden Jerry is not letting you down from there. You're trapped up above.
I mean, what are you thinking about blindfolded?
How do you feel about? Let me ask you this question. So there's a Steve player on Fisher College.
You think it'd be way easier?
How do you feel about Steve in this format? I think if Steve starts, that could be really huge. If he's like the first person to go, just because his tools make him really scary, like gold tools and diamond and those things. He has to like set the time up to like acquire them. So he's not going to be as easy to like rush in and just here, just take the stock real quick because he has to kind of like build for a little bit. But if he does get access to those tools and is holding diamond, that's huge in a crew battle. Like diamond back air. I remember people yelled at me when I was like, I think diamond back air might be better than arson back air. They're like, you're crazy, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you get so many more chances to kill with this move versus like Joker's arson back air. You get so many more opportunities. How do you feel about Steve in this kind of format?
I feel like Steve is a very interesting mental aspect because you feel the need. Like, it's not traditionally a comeback character, but it is because you feel the need to approach Steve. You feel the need to get on top of Steve to prevent him getting the resources. But even without resources, Steve is still mighty deadly.
But hey, if anyone has a riot gun buddy out there, riot gun buddy, hit me up.
Hey, drop me your Vandal.
Let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to get red on top of them, smother this Steve, smother G Extreme, so they can't even get a block in their inventory. All of a sudden, you get hit by an up tilt, you're in 6, you're off stage, and he's there.
Right now, get in his Twitter DMs.
Yes. Handsome
Host on Twitter, 5 riot gun buddies. First
not even at square one, you're at
you
square
have to follow and retweet.
Yeah,
follow
you have to follow and
retweet
retweet his
60%.
latest
You're a kill percent.
Tag 2 friends.
And then tag 2 friends, and then you have to recommend somebody for late night with
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
No.
See, that's the most important one.
Yeah, you're right. He can start off really strong.
Late night with Los gets
I don't know if anyone happened to watch Let's Make Moves.
I was there, and I have one.
See, both there.
Campers has one.
Making it all the way to Brands with double Steve, and after winning double Steve.
Because I've been
the scariest thing about it is like when he's supposed to be at his worst,
it's crazy.
I'm only he's got this like 7-frame up tilt. It's like, hey, if this touches you,
and they've consistently
denied. I did not see either of them
it's kind of like a cruel joke.
You know, the giver can't be
an entire.
It's because I've made too many silly TikToks about Riot.
They're like, this is your punishment. He's still going to blow you up to 60, 70 damage. And if you let him get what he needs, he's even that's fair.
And
really stressful.
That seems to be the case. But when it comes to Overwatch skins,
while I'm not going to say Steve is the hardest character in the game, you do have to keep in mind that
I haven't bought a Riot Battle Pass. And
realize that this character is a major threat. People are getting more and more ready to face off against them. So
I kind of miss the loot boxes.
The Extreme can get away with some of the plays we've seen earlier in the
really
meta
liked
or a couple months ago.
The Apex
or
feel
if the side of Rutgers University is ready, I'm very excited. We do very much have a home team and an away team here.
We literally do, yeah. Right after the football game, too.
Because this event, CECC East in-person finals, is in fact hosted at Rutgers University.
You're a lot louder than us, I feel like.
In the arena itself. Venue so far. All the players are happy. All the crew are having a great time, and it's going to be a great stage to face off in not just Smash, but several other esports. But luckily, we have the pleasure of kicking off the day. I see the players on the stage now, and I have to start wondering.
Kat, you are a little bit biased. I was told to ask favorite game for today.
From Fisher College today.
You're a little biased.
No, my guess is my game's Overwatch 2.
You're excited for Overwatch 2? It's going to be awesome. It's going to be sick. Literally I found out earlier. I was going to 2 top 10
is it's a very mixed reviews
in the entire country.
Like the character is
well, there's still
there's some stuff that's like really exploitable, but the stuff that's good is just like really, really good too. So it's kind of like it's a confusing character to try to place in the meta. Oh, I think he's this tier. If you argued Yoshi in almost any tier, I'd be like, yeah, you got it. You're probably right. Like I really don't know. He's a confusing character, but he's definitely like a huge matchup check character. Where this could work out for Rutgers, you said he trains with Tweak. Tweak is like at worst the 5th best player of every character in the game at this point. Like Tweak's character pool is deep. It's maybe one of the deepest character pools in all of Smash Ultimate history. I'm talking like probably could pick any character, of 25 different characters and like legitimately like top 8 a major. So with that said, if Pharaoh is consistently training against a player with not only that much talent but also that kind of character variety, probably going to do pretty good in the crew battle. And that's where we are right now. Now they're in finals.
Yeah. I feel like the potential to there are a lot of players who I feel like could have a very favorable matchup against maybe a couple particular people, but if they don't get to fight those people because of the fact that there's just one stagnant defender who will not leave,
Pauly hype.
with much less hype.
This one dropped.
Together, knowing like our game plan of going.
I believe, checking in on this, that it is a best-of-3 crew battle. So that means
correct. That's
even
correct.
if they fall in the first crew battle, they do have time to adapt. And adaptation is such a huge part of Smash Brothers.
Adaptation, and also in this specific format, counterpicking. Counterpicking is so huge. We saw it yesterday with Stack versus St. John, where it's like, okay, this team has a very good Pikachu player, and Pikachu happens to beat, like, the matchups from like 2 of the strongest players on the other team. So you got to be really careful about when you're going to send who in, or what you're going to like try to feed your opponent, or like let's say like Ness, for example. Let's say they have maybe a really good sword character on Rutgers or something. Maybe they want to try to throw that in against Tony Pajamas, who again, very talented Ness player, is one of my favorite players to watch. I think for a lot of online events I've done, whether it be CECC or even like a coin box, like I've seen Tony Pajamas like putting in work. So it's going to be a heck of a fight. I'm really curious to see who they're going to start. And we're finding out, it looks like we are getting Tony Pajamas versus Odyssey. Now, you were saying Odyssey is the other really, really powerful player from Rutgers University, correct?
Yes, he is. He does play, to the best of my knowledge, Fox in this game.
Ooh, okay,
Ness
nice.
versus Fox. People talk about an explosive matchup. I mean, Fox is a veritable stick of dynamite in this one.
Yes. Yeah, Fox is crazy fast. I think one thing that Fox shines in is like rushing people down, like putting all that pressure on your shield. But Nessa's really good out of shield. Nessa's nair out of shield is fantastic. Ness kind of wants you in that zone. So it's going to be a matter of like who can control the pacing of the match. If Odyssey is able to kind of like force Tony Pajamas to play like reactive and then punish accordingly with the speed that he has from Fox, it could be really good. If Odyssey is not careful and he's running in recklessly, he's going to take so much defensive damage from dealing with Ness, from dealing with those nairs. Oh, but it looks like we're getting a Greninja, actually, instead of Fox.
I actually don't mind this if this is one of their competent secondaries, because they can definitely just, Fox can definitely just get bodied. As you can see, Tony, after even some chip damage, is immediately just getting, well, knocked around, but I like that. Tony slowed it down on the platforms, and now it's a fairly even game.
Yeah, and this could be really interesting. They both kind of need to exist in that same airspace. Like where Greninja is spacing forward air, that's kind of where Ness also needs to be. So it's going to be another frame data battle. Potentially in the favor of Ness. I feel like Greninja's jumps are a little bit more from middle than his. Ness is very floaty. He can mix up his momentum with like magnet falls and things of that nature. But enough theory crafting. In the match itself, we have ourselves a pretty even game so far. We're starting to see those PK fires come in. Odyssey doing a really good job of like not letting Tony Pajamas get the full extensions from that, because you can just take so much damage if you don't know what's doing against Ness. And what a fantastic read, baiting that jump in with Odyssey, punishing with that forward smash. That was really good.
Yeah, and now immediate opening off of that dash attack. Tony tried to get aggressive off the platform, but Odyssey does not let that happen. Nair out of shield will push Odyssey towards the edge, but I like how Odyssey is not afraid to go for a high recovery. Ness's up smash, one of his best anti-airs, does take some time to come out. So if you're able to get by fast, just like Odyssey does by not hesitating, can be very nice. But now Odyssey is off stage again. Tony is able to get in with a soft back air and finish them off. Odyssey was not able to get above the ledge, and that means Tony Pajamas evens things up.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. You were complimenting Odyssey for going for that high recovery because it was a mix-up. But Tony Pajamas, not only did he like react to it immediately the next time he was in this situation, but the up smash you were so afraid of is exactly what ended up taking the stop. That aside, though, Odyssey is putting on a ton of damage, running all over Tony Pajamas, and that deep drop zone back air is going to give him pretty much a 0 to death on this second stop. Clean play from Odyssey.
Tony opportunity here, but air dodging through the PK fire, jumping over a second one, and now Odyssey gets a clip. Tony Pajamas, though, even getting hit by a stray hit does not lose advantage too much. It's just been a lot of little taps, but now this is bigger damage. Runs up, gets a parry on the magnet, but it's just enough to reset the situation. Odyssey still presses the advantage, though. 66%. Tony Pajamas being whacked around the stage. Odyssey is holding strong, but can Tony find an opening off of this Nair? Quite yet.
Can Tony at least find a second stock? Because right now, Odyssey is just cooking. And that's one of the things that makes Greninja so scary. He's such a fast character, but when he does get that momentum, it's so hard to get Frogman off you. It looked like Tony Pajamas was like burning double jumps, trying to find air dodges, was losing air-to-air exchanges, just anything but what he needed to get out of this advantage was happening.
Now Tony Pajamas not able to convert off the PK fire, looking for little pokes, but the disjoint from the forward air is too much. The kunai, the back air, that lingering multi is enough to finish the stock. Odyssey opens against Fisher College by taking 3 stocks, only losing 1.
Yeah, and that was just genuinely really, really good play that we saw from Odyssey, because he kept Tony Pajamas in so much pressure, but he was almost never overextending. Tony Pajamas would be in like a bad spot. He'd be like, oh, I have to air dodge so I don't get hit by this, that, and the third. But just by lingering around Ness, which is kind of a thing that's always been Ness's problem, if you don't like super go hard and commit and try to find punishes, but just wait for Ness to burn his options, then you get really big punishes. And that's what we saw from Odyssey. Both those last 2 stocks, he was just like, all right, you've already had to jump. Now you're going to be committed to like having to use your up B, and this one I'll go for the punish. And I really think sometimes I underestimate how deep Greninja can go for an edge guard, because he would be like way out in the blast zone and be in no danger of dying. So I think Odyssey just played that really, really well. Tony Pajamas was just under a lot of pressure. And again, this is a crew battle format. This is not a traditional like, oh, let me run it back, let me figure it out in the next round. No, that you are now out until we get all the way through the rest of the teams. So Tony Pajamas has a lot of time to like figure out what went wrong there. But Odyssey just played really well. He played really fast, which I expected to see from Fox, but he did just the same with Greninja, honestly. It seems like the character change didn't really matter. And, yeah, Tony Pajamas was just really smothered.
Yeah, and I like the character pick a lot. I feel like it complemented the strengths that Fox gives you. Like you said, same fast play style, same hit and run. However, it mitigated the main weakness that Fox has, which is that linear recovery. Fox, more or less, is almost always going to the ledge. In very rare situations, he goes very high, but even then, it's pretty dangerous. Greninja has more control over his recovery. Even though it's no hitbox, you're still able to just arc over or go straight to ledge, and that means Tony Pajamas can't just deploy the yo-yo and cover 90% of your options all at the same time.
Exactly. And we did see that one punish with the up smash earlier. That one worked out, but other than that, he was never – I feel like Odyssey was never really in a ledge trap situation ever again. Like, he died to the one. He was like, well, I guess I just won't lose now. Like, that's literally what it felt like. I think Tony Pajamas played it really well. I think he's just going to have to find a way to control the pacing. And that was the first thing I said. I said in a matchup like Fox and Ness, and the same could be applied for Greninja Ness, whoever is in control of the pace of the match is going to just dominate.
Now, coming in against them now, did you see any little chinks in the armor where you could actually control that pace? Like, I feel like Greninja, the issue is not a lot of characters can really contest with his vertical burst option, just his super high jump, his fast fall speed. you can't really chase him down when he's jumping up and down. So it's going to be MD coming in, who can maybe control the air a little bit more with the fact that they're on the Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
I love that. The fact that you can edge guard very well with the Ivysaur, and more than that, you can threaten the air so much with the Ivysaur, with the Vine Whip, with the up air, and with so many
Side
other
B,
options.
back air, all kinds of things you can do. Now, Greninja still will have way greater ground speed than them. If they start with Squirtle, and let's make sure, yeah, they are committed to Pokemon Trainer. Now, if they start with Squirtle, should be very scrappy, and they can definitely like play that kind of boxing game against Greninja. He has the speed, he has the frame data. He doesn't have the range that Greninja has, but if he's good at like weaving in and out and kind of like baiting his options, I'm a big fan of doorstop. He's from our scene, and I've seen this Pokemon Trainer do that a lot. Just kind of weaving in and out, waiting for stuff and just punishing. I think that could be a big problem for him if he's not very careful.
A little bit of footsies going on here to open up the game, as neither one's giving them the opening because they know whoever gets touched first is in for big damage. 35% already, doesn't get the 2-frame, but still the pressure continues. MD just retreats, gaining stage control, not wanting to give Odyssey any free ground, but there's an air.
Ooh, great chase with that dash back grab too. And we saw MD trying to get those jab lock combos. It is so unbelievably hard to know when you shouldn't tech against Squirtle. All those moves are so fast. Many of them look the same. It's really risky. Ooh. But here we are in a bad situation for Greninja here. Ivysaur with all kinds of range on these aerials. So many different ways to get him. And he gets the Razor Leaf into the up B, only at 24%, and he's able to reset back into Squirtle, so he's back in that boxing situation he wants to be in. Incredible play from MD.
Yeah, Odyssey doesn't want to get put in that situation again. He wants to stay at a disadvantage, so keeps the pressure up, stays on top of MD, but is forced to back up, and now they have to deal with the ground game again. Rising back air isn't enough to get anything at this low percent, but as you can see, every little chip damage is more damage Squirtle can get, 34%, and as soon as they get off stage, I'm expecting the Ivysaur again. Tries to get the gift, the water gun, and there it is. Goes for it all, but intelligent air dodge right there, preserving their resources.
Yeah, Greninja's definitely like a death by 1,000 cuts kind of character. Like, his overall damage isn't crazy, but he just has so much speed, and he's able to combo you so well that it racks up. But he's only gotten, like, chip hits against MD this entire game. MD already lapped him in percent, and in a really good position to take the stock with that up air. Oh, my God, it killed. I cannot believe that killed. We were talking earlier about controlling the airspace and how important of a tool that side B actually is. Razor Leaf cutting off Greninja's short hop approaches and also confirming into those really early sub 100 kills was devastating for Odyssey.
Yeah, the slow-moving projectiles are sometimes the most terrifying because they mean this area is off limits to you for about 1 second. And 1 second doesn't sound like a lot, but in Smash Brothers, it can be life or death. In this case in particular, you throw out that Razor Leaf, it covers the platform or the ground. That is an area where Odyssey cannot go. You know, who can go there? MD, who can go there, cover the option, cover the landing, whatever they want. If Odyssey falls into the Razor Leaf, they're dead. They're off the top with an up air or an up B. If they don't, then they have to contend with Ivysaur's disjointed aerials.
Would you believe this is the nerfed version of Ivysaur's aerials, by the way?
I know.
Would you believe this is smaller than it was? A full mid-size Toyota-size hitbox is still smaller than it used to be.
Just putting up the Spirit Bomb above you, it's just
like, are you in this area? Oh, look, you died. Like, it's so hard to deal with.
And that's what you got to contend with right here. Now, I did like what they did immediately off of the Angel platform. We saw Odyssey start to put on the pressure by just staying on top of Squirtle, keeping Squirtle off of the ground, and Squirtle's aerials are great, but usually when they're short hop aerials, they're great. When they're close to the ground, when they're not close to the ground, all of a sudden, well, you can maybe get a counter hit here or there, but they're not strong enough to send your opponent away. They're still going to keep up the pressure, keep on top of you, but as soon as we saw MD able to close the distance, get under a platform where the falling aerials weren't that much of a threat, then all of a sudden, Greninja couldn't really find the way in. And one little tap from a tilt from Squirtle is all they needed.
And I'm glad you said under a platform, because when he was playing Ivysaur, both those stocks were secured by a platform because he's so scary underneath there. You can do falling up air into fall through platform up air, or falling there and a falling platform up air. There's so much damage he can net having just one platform extension, but also it puts you in weird tech chase situations. Like when he got that Razor Leaf, Odyssey couldn't tell, am I landing on the platform? Do I need to try to buffer a tech? Do I need to air dodge instead? It's really ambiguous when you're just kind of in hit stun right around there, and both of those options lost to Ivysaur up air anyway. So, yeah.
And when
you talk about stage control, Ivysaur in that space under a platformer like PS2 or SPF or really anything is very terrifying. Oh, but we're getting into the next match, and it looks like we're going to have Kazuya versus Squirtle.
Yeah, Taya on the Kazuya, and without a jump off stage, is able to air dodge through the water gun, but now they get clipped, barely get back on stage. All they need is one opening, though. If this is a play on Rutgers, I have faith that they're just as powerful as they possibly can be. But MD does not want to let them get anything.
Yeah, he doesn't want to let them get anything started. Kazuya is such a devastating character. We were talking earlier about characters that can lose neutral and take stocks anyway. Kazuya is the king of that. And here we go right now. Okay, not getting in the EWGF punish right there, but he does still find that uppercut. Still gets a lot of damage. And he was in a position to find the Burp Tech. He was trapped on that platform. He could have gone up there and like set up some really devastating Kazuya play.
Maybe a little bit of nerves right here, but Taya's got to shake him off if he want to take a scratch on MD right there.
See, falling there, rising up there on that platform. That's exactly what I was talking about. That situation is what's scary for Ivy.
That platform is the equivalent of a mousetrap for them. If you go there, you're going to get snapped up no matter how tantalizing the cheese is, as right now, Taya does have MD off stage. Can they get the spike right here? This could be huge. This is going to be a regrab. They try to go for a ledge trump instead, and now they're in disadvantage.
Yeah, and now you have max range Charizard. Obviously, he's not in a great spot regardless, but if he finds like those sweet spot F tilts or even those back airs, he can take the stock really easy. Patea's got to find some way to seal this out, though, because at 40%, he's still actually in grave danger against a character with this kind of knockback. Nice, using the command grab. I feel like that's one of the scariest things about Kazuya is that he forces you to shield so often. His moves are so oppressive and scary, and there's so much shield stun. But you forget that he has an incredibly powerful command grab that not only does a ton of damage, but honestly kills you anywhere around like 80 or 90 too, if he has a rage shot.
I do like how they're using Squirtle. MD knows that Squirtle has the speed, has the fast buttons to contend with Kazuya on the ground, but you got to respect him. Right here, only 8%, still could be dead with the wrong option. We do need to keep hyping that up because Kazuya always has the potential. Reflects it back. Now there's their opening, 62% on the platform above. Goes to the falling down there, but this time Taya is wide, wary to their tricks.
Yeah, that up tilt says so much because it's just like, look, if I reflect this Razor Leaf again, like it's one of the few projectiles that won't kill, but it is a ton of damage. But speaking of killing, it doesn't matter. MD finding that really deep Vine Whip and switching back to Charizard to cover was really clean. Oh, and Patea dropping that potential kill confirm. Squirtle's very light. That might have done it. And now he's in a world of hurt. He's getting dragged all the way around the stage because of Squirtle's incredible frame data and ground speed. Oh, God, look at the shield pressure. Ooh.
Just rolls right on through there. Right here, MD is playing this just as well as you possibly could. Using these disjoints.
Nice.
Them
oh, my God. How did that kill?
Goodbye. See ya. Out of here. Evicted. As that is Taya off the stage. You can see them shaking their head a little bit, but MD is looking smug. MD is looking confident, continuing this dominance. And here's the thing. I need to emphasize this. All you need to do to beat Kazuya is play perfectly.
Now,
that is what we saw for like 90% of that.
Yeah, sure. The only the counterplay is to never make a single mistake in your entire life.
Exactly.
But it's true. It really is true. But good Lord. Again, we were talking about, can you believe that was a nerf version of Ivysaur up air? Can you believe that was a nerf version of Ivysaur Vine Whip that just killed a heavy character at 80? I'm sure the DI was probably not ideal. I don't think he expected to get hit there. He's probably trying to jump away, but good Lord, that was an early stop.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, like, getting caught by just a little hit right there. I don't know if they were trying to escape the combo or what, but just one little tap, they're right in the sweet spot. It's like, buenos dias. And, and you're just obliterated. Now, obviously, that is something, again, all of these Rutgers players are going to be adapting, going to be studying this. And if, well, they are definitely going to be getting a second round. Whoever loses here is going to have a lot of adaptations coming in here. I feel like Kazuya definitely want to save him for someone who has to scrap a little more. Squirtle will scrap with you, yeah, but
he's actually fast enough to kind of get away with it, though.
Yeah.
You know, most characters aren't. Squirtle just has so much speed, he can just kind of like, I'll just wait for you to throw something out. But Ivysaur honestly just controlled, he just zoned so well with Razor Leaf. Okay, we're getting Sora versus Pokemon training. Interesting. I imagine that Sora versus Squirtle is terrible. He's so tiny, he's so hard to hit. Those Nair loops are probably a little bit wonky on a character of his size. So this is going to be really tough on paper for Cub. But once he switches off the Squirtle, it might be all right. But either way, let's see what's going on here.
Yes, Cub. For that down air. quite find the opening, but I like this. Controlling the ground game, and even though that's where we've seen MD shine, right here, Cub is being kind of nebulous with how they're using their short-hop aerials, and MD can't really find an opening. Goes for the full charge forward smash. Okay, that's not really nebulous. That is totally readable, and Cub does get punished, but they're still keeping up the pressure.
It was a sneaky trick, too, because it's so committal. You wouldn't expect somebody to go for that. Oh, the offstage Blizzard, I like it, but he actually sent him towards the blast zone instead of away from it, so he wasn't able to maybe confirm it in that up beat, which kills pretty early. All right, we see Nair 1, Nair 2. Tried to find the up smash, didn't get it, but honestly, Cub is playing fantastic. And now MD is forced off of Squirtle, and that's where Sora actually would do really well, which is what I was saying. And Squirtle and Sora Charizard sounds very tough for Charizard.
People were saying Sora felt very slow and floaty when he came out, but the way Cub has stayed on top of MD this entire time, I do not believe it. Now, though, an opportunity, but that down air, MD respects it, does actually get a punish right there. I love that, throws out the Thunder, usually don't see that connect, but when they're in the Flame Breath, nothing MD could do. Opportunity right here to finish, but a slow mash, MD stays alive.
Wow, really risky stuff. He's trying so hard to take his first stock off MD, and he's doing everything right, but he can't find it. Finally finds it with the rising up air, and you see Cub popping off in his chair, just jumping, because good lord, a Charizard back air F tilt would have been devastating for Rutgers disconnected. All right, there it is. Razor Leaf into the up B once again. MD looking like the VIP of this first round. He's taking, what, like 7 stocks now, I think? Something like that?
Yeah,
6, 7 stocks?
And now he's in more damage being racked up.
Oh my lord, what a combo! 67%.
Ooh, goes up very high, and that's a free punish for MD. They're not going to let this one drop. Resources not quite burned. Goes towards the middle. I love that. Doesn't use the third. Sonic flat. But
Jesus, MD is just playing on fire for Fisher College right now. 1 stock left. You'd never know it from the way he's playing. Cub fighting back, trying to find those Nair strings to at least rack up some damage here. Got him trapped in the ledge, avoiding the blizzards. That could have been really good. Cub is, he's got to make absolutely certain that he's preserving his stocks because Rutgers is pretty far down, and MD is playing very well.
He is. Ooh. Trade right there, and that is not good for Cub. Has to recover very low. Goes to Thunder, but MD is wise to their tricks now. Can they get back on? Yes. Gives a lot of respect to that recovery. MD does not want to overextend.
Does not want to overextend. He's playing very carefully. You're seeing him with these Razor Leaves, just trying to find an answer here, just shutting down Sora's pressure, trying to see if he can take just 1 more stock for Fisher. Obviously, he's done fantastic, so if he goes down right now, he's done more than his fair share for the team. Oh, great interrupt.
Can they get back? Oh, they're still trading back there. Fighting back and forth on stage, but an up throw will finish them off. MD gets another stock of a Rutgers.
Yes, MD now taking 8 stocks, I'm pretty sure, unless my math is off, which is very likely. I'm terrible at math. But now at 120%, again, Charizard is a character that can take those stocks really early, so Cub's gonna have to be careful. He should be able to find a lot of confirms with those Nairs, which we're not seeing just yet. No, I can't believe that didn't kill.
Oh, goes to the counter off stage, and MD, I respect it, goes for it all, but the regrab is going to get you punished. And now Cub is putting on the pressure off stage, looking for the freeze. Can they get the finisher right there? Wait for it, and there's no way out. Up air will finish them off, and that is Cub ending MD's run.
Good lord. So much work put in by MD right there. Honestly, it's really funny that MD was the player I knew the least about, and every time the player I know the least about, they're always the one that does the most work. It is consistent every single time. I don't know who somebody is. They like go on this crazy tear. Good stuff to MD. Really putting on for the squad. Just unbelievably good Pokemon trainer play. I would be terrified to fight him in a full set. He did all that with just 3 stocks. Good lord.
We were talking to the car on the way here about kill confirms and how important they are. I feel like the main threatening thing about Ivysaur in particular is how those kill confirms can come from so many different ranges. Up close, from afar, wherever that Razor Leaf happens to touch you, wherever a pop-up back air happens to touch you, you could just be in an up air or an up B, and then you're sent off the side or off the top, and it's terrifying.
And he also has, like, shockingly good ledge traps for, like, a slower character. You don't expect it, but, like, Ivysaur forward smash, he reaches so far forward to, like, jump scare you with that attack. Down smash also, I remember watching Quid Ivysaur. I've seen a lot of Quid play, and I've seen him get, like, crazy 2 frames with, like, Ivysaur down smash. So, like, this character isn't lacking in a lot of ways. I think at most it would be mobility, which, thank God, because he's so good at threatening you anywhere from, like, mid-range to closer. But then he just switches off to somebody better. He switches off to, like, Squirtle after a couple tries, and just, you know, he's able to go back to just being fast after that. But yeah, I think he just played really well. Cub Sora was looking really, really good. He was having a lot of trouble sealing those stocks out. I think both times MD was near like 180, almost 200-ish% when he's able to actually find the kills against his Charizard. But his neutral looked really strong. He was really good about getting off the ledge. He was very privy to like when reversals are going to happen off stage as far as like what they wanted to get on stage. So Cubs playing really, really strong. Maybe he'll luck into a matchup that's a little bit less scary. But, yeah, Fisher's doing amazing in the first round. They are way, way up.
Yeah, they are. And now we're going to see a swordy fight, but a very non-traditional one. It's going to be Cub taking on Jerry. Now, Ike against these floaty characters. It can be a weird matchup, but I feel like Ike, even though the combo routes are different, are still just as deadly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just as deadly. And I think one thing that's going to be tough here is that if they're coming to like an I'm going to space aerials battle, Ike's disjoint should be a little bit bigger than Sora's. I'm pretty sure he has like a slight edge when it comes to like the range. But Cub has the opportunity to kind of slow him down with like Fireball and like Blizzard. Those two specifically can cut a lot of space away from Ike. So it's going to kind of matter who's going to feel like approaching who. Like if Jerry wants to be like really aggressive and stay in Cub's face and is trying to like get in there with those neutral layers and Cub is respecting that and throwing those projectiles out instead, it could be really tough for Ike. If Cub is just trying to go ham and just, you know, fight Ike straight up, that could be really good for Jerry. So it really matters who's going to be trying to control the close space, I think.
And what I am worried about is how you deal with these landing nairs. Obviously, just parry the nair, parry the nair. But there are so many mix-ups that you can do with fastball timing. And also, this is Jerry with the counter pick, I believe, on the stage.
Oh, that's true.
There are some specific bans, but that could be a triplat. And even though Sora are like, you know, crazy instant double jump extensions, but overall, I feel like Ike is a lot more deadly there, so we'll see how Jerry does here. It's just going to be a small battlefield from the looks of it, taking this close quarters combat to the next level against Cub.
Now, we've seen crazy things before. We've seen really big crazy comebacks. We saw yesterday with like Derpature. If Cub will take a couple more stocks here, even if he takes just 2 more stocks, he can pretty much even things up for Rutgers. They are down 4-6, so it's not a terrible gap, but it's definitely a lot of work for him to do.
Yes, it is, but as you can see right here, Cub is making it work. Ooh, beats out that side B initially with one of their own, and Cub puts on the pressure from the range, but an down throw into a juggle situation. But I like that Cub does not waste any of their resources, instead just gets right back on the offensive when Jerry drops their guard.
Now, we're talking about characters that are scary against platforms or near platforms. Ike is another person on that list. He gets so many extensions with like a falling nair, and even without the platform, we see nair in the back air. Cub is going to have to be really careful. He's doing a really good job of throwing those projectiles out and cutting off that aerial space that Ike wants to be at. And a great jump read with that back air. Cub taking the stock, popping off a little bit. His team's going crazy, and he gave us a little bit of disrespect. I love to see what I'm seeing from Cub, but he's got to be careful. 79% is already a big, dangerous place to be against the character with a knockback of Ike.
Oh, the crowd is popping off for this Sora right here as Jerry is keeping up the pressure, puts them off. Ooh.
We're here.
That's discipline on the platform right here.
And
but
there it is.
There's the one confirm you need off the top. And Jerry is able to stop the bleeding. 5 stocks remain for Fisher College, 3 on the side of Rutgers, and it's looking very good right here for both of these teams because we've still got the anchor from Rutgers. But Fisher College, Jerry is a threat in his own right, and there's another player. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be Blue. It could be. I've seen a lot of the different members of Fisher here. They're all so dangerous, and that's the issue. How do you prep for so many different threats?
Now, for Rutgers, is it going to be Pharaoh, you think?
I think it's got to be.
It's got to be Pharaoh at this point.
If it's not Pharaoh, then I don't know where Pharaoh is, unless they've got someone in the back pocket to sweet go here.
Right, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, that man could be anywhere between 18 and 34. But either way.
Facts. But, like, yeah, if it ends up being Pharaoh, who is, again, as we keep talking about, you know, training partners with one of the best players on Earth, Tweak, if anyone's got to make a 5-stock comeback, maybe he could do it. Now, Jerry's playing really well. He was doing a really good job of just controlling that space. We saw the confirms are already ready. Jerry is like, I'm just going to check Twitter. I'm not stressed. But, yeah, we do have Jerry and Pharaoh after all. So we are going to be getting into Yoshi Ike. And Rutgers has to take 5 stocks, and Fisher just has to take these final 3 from the captain, Pharaoh, on the Rutgers side.
Yeah, and I love Pharaoh bringing the bling, bringing the drip. Again, all of Rutgers looks calm and comfortable. This is their home turf. They're defending against Fisher College. Fisher College, who has been nigh untouchable through the entirety of their existence as a roster. And we'll see if they can continue that up.
That's actually very cute. That's kind of adorable.
It is.
Never seen Yoshi chase his tail. All right, here we go. 3 stocks to 5. Is Pharaoh going to be able to make the comeback that Rutgers needs to get this first point on the board? Or is Jerry going to finish it off himself with that incredible Ike play we were just looking at?
Going in, gets the last hit of down air. Is that all they need? Racks up the damage just like that. Gets the consistent up air string. No huge damage right yet, but no overextension. I feel like against Ike, that's what Yoshi needs to do. Preserve the resources, get guaranteed damage when you can, and find the kill confirms. 83%. An up tilt and up air might just kill if you get into the right part.
Yeah, and Yoshi gets a lot of his confirmed from aerials, so it's a scary space for him to be in theoretically against Ike. But Pharaoh's playing it really, really well. He's pressuring him well. Jerry's not really doing a whole lot out of shield to kind of threaten Pharaoh. And yeah, Pharaoh's got himself like a slight lead, and he's trying to force Jerry to use approaches. And using the double jump armor to get through that Ike neutral air is massive, because that's where Ike gets all of his big damage, is that combo confirmed.
Yes. I like that. Walking around, controlling center stage. Jerry
Nice.
gets knocked out of the air. Do they have a jump? Just barely able to get back to the stage with the ether, and Yoshi really doesn't want to contest that. Doesn't really have the range. But now, up in the
Dicey.
air. Where Jerry can get a lot of damage, but gets over aggressive, gets knocked an egg to the face. And now we see Jerry backing up to the platform where you're supposedly safe. And
supposedly, yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, the double jump armor is going to save Pharaoh's stock. That's exactly what they needed to stay alive in here. And Jerry's not able to find the sweet spot on that up B either. He's working so hard trying to take one of these stocks. But Pharaoh looking a little bit blessed right now. Just gonna keep surviving on and finds that first back air, making it now just 4-3.
yeah, holds the shield, holds the wall, and now Pharaoh is faced with the option. How do you get an early stock from Ike? Not anything huge right here.
There's a lot of ways. If you see an egg near the ledge or something crazy like that, Ike probably can't recover well.
But nice tech on the platform.
Nice,
anti-air with the up tilt. That's a stock off the last player from Rutgers right here. As Pharaoh gets knocked out of the air by the side B. Gets caught by the get-up attack too. If Jerry's able to get another stock here, it could be curtains. But Pharaoh is holding strong for the time being. Gets caught by the landing nair. 51%. I was scared when I saw that jump burn with no benefit gain, but now the up tilt sets up for more damage. Air dodge caught. Are there any resources? Yes, Jerry gets to the ground.
He finally finds a way to the ground. Pharaoh was just playing really clean right there. We saw really great tech chases. We saw a lot of pressure, and Jerry was out answering. But Pharaoh, once again, able to use that double jump armor to survive that Ike up air. A lot of characters would be dying in these positions, even if these kind of like middling percents, but Pharaoh knows exactly when he needs to just pull the parachute and get out of there against his character. Uh-oh.
Gets the back air.
Little fluster, trying to find those side Bs.
Trying to knock him out of the air with that egg. Just using these out of shield options. That's how they got their last kill. Remember, back air out of shield.
no.
But just interrupting the side Bs. Will air dodge to ledge.
No
Up
way.
air out of shield will be the finisher. That's 2 stocks on the board for Rutgers, 3 for Fisher University. This is the closest I've ever seen Fisher get pushed. Is this the time? Pharaoh. Oh,
woo! Wait a minute. Pharaoh taking his shirt off.
I thought it was going all the way.
This is a PG-13 stream. We're not doing all that here. No, I don't think Rutgers. I didn't look at the lease agreement. I don't know if they want us doing all that. Man, you got to chill.
But I understand the excitement because this is huge. Rutgers is not only defending their home turf, but they're up against some of the best in the college scene, and they're making it work. They're making it look doable. They're keeping it even, and that's exactly what you need to be seeing when you're defending your own campus.
Yes, we have finally. Now, everything that we've casted before, nothing really ever tends to come down to the wire. It, at most, would be like someone loses by like 4, but we finally have just a 2-3. About as close as you can possibly get crew battle now between Fisher and Rutgers, and this is so exciting. This is what I want to see. I want to see it go down to the wire. Now, remember, MD did a ton of work for their team, but despite all that, it's still very close. Pharaoh probably really battle-tested in these high-pressure situations, considering who he trains against, and some of the wins that he has offline. I mean, Zamba is literally a top 10 player on Earth. So to have a win over him, I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if it was crew battles, randoms, Mario Party, gentlemen, whatever it was. Having that win means a lot to me. That means that you are like very, very comfortable against like really rough situations. So 2 stocks for Rutgers, 3 stocks for Fisher. Who is Fisher's final player going to be, I wonder?
I see them hot in discussion right now, and I do not blame them. They need to think carefully about how you take on this Yoshi, because as you saw, Jerry, even with the benefit of the disjoints, was still being caught by trades a lot of the time. You know, why air acceleration? Yoshi's got the most of it in the game. He zooms. Well, actually, the most air speed, technically, but either way, that means even if you think you're spacing your aerial correctly, there is a, was he purple? Yeah. Two-eyed, two-horned, flying purple people eater.
It's
like,
Steve, isn't it? This is a Steve player, right?
This is the Steve player coming in here.
I like this because I was saying Steve is going to be really good either at the beginning or the end of a crew battle, not in the middle when he's coming in with like 1 or 2 stocks, because he needs time to get all those resources. Coming in as the anchor, perfectly great decision. Because even if Pharaoh starts off with a strong start, as soon as he has access to those diamond tools, or as soon as he's able to, honestly, depending on how he plays, this is just going to be really tough. Because Steve is a character that can cut off a lot of space in neutral with his blocks. I'm going to say this, and I'm not playing. Steve neutral B, that block is the best move in the game, and I am done arguing with people about it.
However, I agree with you right there. However, one of the best moves to counter it is a move with disjoint, a move with many hits, a move with many strong hits, and I think immediately of the classic D-Dog clip of just, you know, Ivysaur, I think it's a back air that's just continuously just whacking away those blocks in an instant. It's kind of what Yoshi's back air reminds me of.
Yoshi's back air can do exactly that. You're right.
Yoshi's back air is kind of just like a minesweeper, just get out of here. Like, just pushing right through any defense. And I don't think it's going to be a like completely neutral defining tool because Yoshi does not have that same lingering projectile like Razor Leaf. However, I do think it will be enough to threaten GXtreme. GXtreme can't mine right next to their blocks because that back air could always come in, clear them out, and then put them off stage.
That's right. And now we're getting into it. Pharaoh going to throw out this first stock, and we have the final battle on the first round for this against Rutgers University. GXtreme coming in, immediately getting so much damage. The wood tools, look at that, 61%. Every single stock opening with Steve, he's just guaranteed that damage at this point. It's devastating, but Pharaoh fighting back, putting 69% on him right away. About to even things up, taking that stock so fast, and GXtreme has no resources to justify that first stock. He had no time to mine. That was like 2 lost neutral interactions, and Pharaoh went insane. And now things are totally even between Fisher and Rutgers.
And I love the way they use down air as an approaching tool. Sets up tech chases immediately, but ping pong off the block. Now Pharaoh is forced to burn a jump. Caught out with a back air, and now Iron Tools on the board. GXtreme doesn't even have time to diamond. They know they're going to get smothered by this fast aerial rushdown character.
Now GXtreme has put out a lot of damage. He's just trying, I think he's opting to try to get resources versus like trying to close the stock out. I don't really think either option is a bad one, but opting to kind of just like camp and just see if you can find some stuff is going to kind of help for Pharaoh, because Pharaoh, when he did get in, was so explosive just now. He really only needs one opportunity.
Yeah, GXtreme using every opportunity to gather resources, goes for a ledge trap, but Pharaoh just goes right through it with the super armor, pushes them in an unfortunate situation. GXtreme is right above it with the minecart, tech chase on the platform, up into the air, air dodge. But Pharaoh isn't able to catch it, doesn't have the resources to do so.
This is such an incredible match. He finally gets the first diamond, which was perfect timing for GXtreme because he took that stock. He just needs to, oh wait, it doesn't matter. He's going to come back with it on the next stop. So he's got those stone tools. He can still get great combos, and we're seeing them right now. Even Pharaoh trying to use those double jump armor to get out of there didn't help. He took 58% still, and now he has opted to mine for diamond. Could be risky. He turned it on a little early, and if he loses his stock, he's going to be in a weird spot without it as soon as he comes back. But Pharaoh, on the other hand, at 72%, is in danger of dying if he finds one minecart, one forward smash, or one back air at this point. It's just a rough place for Yoshi to be.
Rolls right into that grab, and now GXtreme has another one. Back throw, 103%.
Oh,
they're going to get broken through that double jump armor so easily. A lot of stray hits from these unpredictable burst options from Steve as Pharaoh is getting knocked around. Finally, the down air will be enough. A massive pop-off on the stage from Fisher to crown off the first crew battle of the grand finals, and I could not be more excited. This is the closest match we have seen, not just in a finals for CECC, but honestly, that I've ever seen Fisher be in.
Yeah, that was incredibly good play, honestly, from both teams. GXtreme really played it well. I was getting nervous because that first stock, Pharaoh went crazy. He killed him in like 2 interactions. I was like, hey, yo, Captain, you got Captain. But after that, he was totally good to go. I was a little hesitant when he pulled that diamond around the second stock, but he never actually lost that second stock. And the thing about that is, like, okay, you're pulling this resource early, so it's a little riskier because if you die, you're not going to have it on your final stock. But that's still a lot of pressure for your opponent to deal with. It's like, oh, shoot, Diamond is here. I have to be extra careful not to get hit by anything. And I think that G Extreme played it really well. He had options of, like, trying to, like, smother him with, like, minecart and just throwing those blocks around, doing whatever it needed. But honestly, he was kind of just winning the air-to-air battle more than anything.
He really was.
And that's not a battle that Steve has to fight Yoshi in, but the fact that G Extreme won it anyway says a lot about how good of a player he is.
Yeah, G Extreme definitely was caught a little bit off guard with how fast Pharaoh picked up the pace immediately with that crazy 80% combo into an almost immediate kill afterwards. That was like an even game. That was 60% to 0%.
Yeah.
That could have gone anyone's way, but like you said, Steve is a snowball character. The more he stays on the stage, the less he is threatened, the more you are going to see big plays come out. He gained more and more resources, did more and more damage, racked up, and then we got to see some insane gameplay towards the end. Insane kill power, too.
I'm really curious to know how Rutgers is going to respond. The number one thing, obviously, that went wrong for them in the beginning of this was MD's Pokemon trainer was just so dominant. I don't know if they necessarily have, like, a strong counter for Pokemon trainer on the team. Like, I don't think it's Sora. Yoshi, maybe. I don't really know. But also, that's your anchor. Kazuya didn't really work out. Maybe they need to try to save it so that the Greninja's fighting the Pokemon trainer. But then he lost 2 stocks immediately. I don't know. I think that's, like, the first big obstacle they're going to have to deal with, and then probably G Extreme, just because if he's going to consistently be the anchor, he's always going to have 3 stocks when he needs it the most to get his momentum started. It's going to be tough. This is going to be a tough fight. And Fisher is the 1 seed, correct? They are the 1 seed of this entire tournament. So Rutgers, who, you know, as you said, a dark horse team that weren't even confident they were going to be here at all, it's fantastic to see them in Grands, and I think they're playing very well. They're playing really strong, but they just need to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what they can do about a couple select matchups, mainly Pokemon trainer.
And I love that I see Fisher in hot discussion, too. They are not at all cocky after this win. They're keeping up the mentality, keeping up the momentum, getting ready to go into this next part of the crew battle. In general, I can't say for certain how to deal with MD, because the issue with Pokemon Trainer is
it's 3 matchups.
It's hard to catch that character in a super bad matchup. Like, even when they lose a matchup, do they really? Like, a losing matchup for Pokemon Trainer does not feel the same as a losing matchup for a lot of others. Like, take any sort of matchup, make it, 5 more, and that's pretty much the game as it is.
Yeah, for sure. I think they played that really, really well overall. Honestly, if they were to even just start MD again, I wouldn't be mad about it. But it looks like they're not. We're going to see Odyssey versus Tony Pajamas. Now, this matchup did not work out well for Tony Pajamas earlier. He's a very strong player. I think he just got really matchup checked by Odyssey. And honestly, I don't know if I would start off the second battle the same way. Now, they did win, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. But maybe I would have switched the matchups up a little bit. Maybe throw in Tony Pajamas against, like, I don't know, maybe Kazuya? Or maybe against, like, the Sora, where you can kind of, like, battle him in the air. Because Greninja didn't seem like it was working out that well.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to be seeing the same thing again. But right here, this is looking pretty strong. Right now, we see Odyssey coming. This is the same way we saw the last game.
Yeah, it's the exact same start we saw last time.
Very careful, very footsie-based gameplay.
Great approach from starting us off there. Yeah, it was pretty slow, and then like once Odyssey got momentum, it just spiraled really hard. Now, I did say last time I wanted to see what Tony Pajamas was going to do to react. What was he going to learn from the first match? And so far, it's looking pretty good. He's deeply advanced and taking that stock
them so early.
Very early.
That was
very
shocking. A strong hitbox. I don't know if they're just DIing the wrong way. Either way, that's out of there. And now we see Odyssey caught by a falling up air. Tony loves those falling up airs. I see him every single time. Catches them with a soft down air, push off stage. But even when Tony is in disadvantage, they keep up the pressure, only 22%. This is a different Tony than what we saw before.
This is 100% a turnaround from the previous game. And that's what I'm saying. This crew battle format, not a traditional match. But it looks like Tony Pajamas like, I want my run back against Odyssey. He is showing us exactly why he deserves it. Odyssey nearly about to die once again. Not just yet, but almost out of there, 123%. Tony Pajamas barely even been nicked, only sitting at 54. And the disadvantage back air coming from Tony Pajamas is going to take that second stock. What an impressive start from Fisher College. They already had the momentum from winning the first round, and the biggest boon to them is that they've lost one of the strongest players, Tony Pajamas, right off rip. But look at them right now, steamrolling Rutgers University just to get things started.
strong on this platform. And Odyssey is forced to pull out some crazy opportunities to even lay a finger on Tony. Charge up smash?
Ooh,
not even able to get the down tilt right there. They're way out of the up tilt percent. A floating character like that.
Air dodge.
Need an explosive finisher right here. We're not seeing any of those deep recoveries. Oh,
no way!
Tony still lives. Tony is able to adapt after that push. Tony is on fire, but Odyssey is too, and no one's there to put him out right now.
Tony is a god. Good lord. Nobody would have made that recovery. That was so insane. I'm so sorry. Wow. Rutgers really got to find this stock. Okay, down tilt to forward are going to come in. Going to finally take something off Tony Pajamas, so it's not a complete 3-stock here. But good lord, what incredible play we're seeing in the second round.
Falls down with that nair. It's a very strong hit, but it's not enough. Here's a big opportunity, but misses the jab block, but keeps the pressure up. Tech chases, well, to everyone's second favorite option. But finally, a landing back there will finish it off. And that is a reversal of how we saw it start last time. That is 2 stocks for Fisher, and it's actually Rutgers on the back foot.
Yes, and now this time we get to see Tony Pajamas play other matchups too, because Greninja looked a little bit tough, but the fact that he was able to adapt and turn things around that hard, especially since they're already up around, that's a big message being sent to Rutgers University. They need to find something to stop the bleeding, because honestly, as fast as they beat Tony Pajamas the first time was like shocking. It was like, oh snap, okay, that's a huge good start for them. But now he's still going to have 2 stocks. That's a healthy character, and we've seen Ness kill very early. I still can't wrap my head around how hard that down smash killed. He had to have been trying to do something and just like DIing the wrong way. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
He found that stock mad early. But also surviving being hydro pumped as Ness during an up B, craziness. Most people wouldn't even been able to connect PK Thunder 1-2-2, let alone actually bounce into the stage and survive it. Just what fantastic play from Tony right there.
And this showcases why Fisher is so hard to beat, because even if you get them close in the first round, most people don't even get them close in the first round, but then you do. Down to the wire. Now all of a sudden you're facing an evolved Zenkai boosted Fisher that is just absolutely ready to tear you apart for every single little weakness that you didn't even know you showed in the first round. You one-handedly, no you didn't, you showed them every single little bit of data that they needed.
All right, and it looks like we've got Cub coming in against Tony Pajamas, which should be pretty solid. I was saying earlier that like Ness Sora might be a more interesting matchup. Nobody got the experience earlier with playing Sora versus Pokemon Trainer. But yeah, let's see how Cub can turn things around for the Rutgers team.
Yeah, Uppy out of shield, doesn't quite get it. I like this though. Very quick options right here chosen by Cub. Cub does need to be a little careful with how they use that magic, because Tony has already threatened the magnet twice. But is it enough?
All right, back here coming from Tony Pajamas. A lot of damage on Cub already at 70%. Oh, God, and the down tilts are coming through, checking his shoes.
Forward air right there. Knocks them out, but right here, Cub is able to maintain composure.
Warrior dodge, not going to get clipped by the yo-yo, but still in a lot of danger. He's got to start finding those Nair turns. You see him looking for it, trying to find those Nair 1 and Nair 2 drag downs for Tony Pajamas to rack up that damage. But so far, no dice.
Even with a varied recovery like that, at some point or another, every character needs to go to the ledge, and that is where we saw Cub falter. And Tony Pajamas gets them there again, but we see Cub adapt, where we see Tony get another stop.
Woo! And I like that Tony's definitely got his head in the game, already reacting to those projectiles and healing for that little bit of damage. So the group battle format, hey, anything you can take is worth it for sure. Still putting the pressure on, nearly catching Cub with that falling PK fire into the ledge. And Cub throwing out that forward smash, not a bad plan, but just off the mark on the spacing, not able to actually like take the stock with it.
Right here, going right on in. Calling them out in the air with the PK Thunder. That's a really good option to make Cub uncomfortable up in the air.
And okay, gonna use the get up attack, of course. You have that invincibility. You can always do that to Ness and Yo-Yo, which is crazy. In 4 years, we still see Ness get plenty of kills often. Every once in a while myself. But good awareness by Cub. But how can he take this stock? All right, he's got the Blizzard. That should be it. No, the back air out of the ice is going to give Tony Pajamas another stock. Such an advantageous place for Cub to have been in, but there wasn't anything he could have done to actually kill him.
There certainly wasn't, but that's very close. I like that. I like that a lot. Cub does not push that much farther past the PK Thunder, because Tony has shown that they can convert off of that big damage right there, but
Okay, yeah,
jab combo.
He's still struggling. Tony Pajamas might take another 3 stocks if Cub is not careful. And if he does, considering the damage we saw from MD earlier, that could be all but disaster for the Rutgers team. Can he take this stop? Can he stop the bleeding? Can he slow down Tony's momentum?
I'm not seeing a way in. Back throw maybe might do it. No, not from center stage. And now from Daga, Tony gets an even bigger power. Goes all the way down with the down air, but air dodge through. And now Tony has an opportunity to finish it. Nice zigzag pattern disrupts what Tony would expect the recovery to be. But Tony doesn't overextend. Knows that they don't need to. Up smash out of shield is enough. And Tony slams the desk. We can hear it from here. And Cub is out of here. Fisher is looking amazingly dominant, especially compared to how close it was in the first crew battle.
Yeah, honestly, the first one was really, really close. It got down to just the final 2 stocks, but Tony Pajamas was really running away with it. Last time we saw MD run out with like a 7 or 8 stock lead, and now Tony Pajamas getting the opportunity to survive against Odyssey has set us up with 6, and he's only lost that first one. I know Cub was fighting really hard trying to find some kind of way to take that stock from him, but that's the thing that makes Ness so scary. He's so good in shield, and if you're not really on the mark, especially with a character like Sora, whose shield pressure isn't really that scary, you're going to get hit with those responding back airs. You're going to get tagged with all those moves at a disadvantage, and it's just you're going to lose stocks you wouldn't expect to, especially when we saw earlier he was frozen in the ice block. He's mashing out. He's trying to figure out what to do. Cub is just waiting for a punish, and then boom, out of the ice block finds a dare at a disadvantage again, and it ends up killing him.
Yeah, and I feel like Cub understood what the win condition was, but it wasn't able to find Tony at the ledge. Like, the way Tony would be creative with the recoveries, use a double jump up, wait for the air dodge until the down air was coming out. Like, you would think you want to be safe on the ledge as soon as you can. No, Cat, you actually were able to see them air dodge right up, straight through there, almost immediately.
We just want to give a shout out to Monster.
Again.
Once again.
But either way, that right there was a showcase of just how powerful Ness can be, as now Pattaya is coming out here. Is it enough? Is it? We didn't really get to see Pattaya put on a show last time. We didn't really get to see Pattaya do a lot just because of how perfectly the Pokemon trainer was able to space out against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That was so scary. Now, this time, I was saying maybe Ness Kazuya could be potentially a little bit better of a matchup because Pattaya was, as you said, he was really struggling as Pokemon trainer. This could be better. But Tony Pajamas is playing really clean right now. He's playing very sharp. He's really on the ball. His edge guarding has looked really good. Honestly, I feel like he's going to be in a really strong spot here.
Yeah,
and
but
I can see him taking at least another 1 or 2 before he's out.
And if they do manage to do that, that could be huge. Kazuya is a character who can run away with this. Now, obviously, everyone on Fisher is going to be ready for it. But even the best players in the world, when ready against a good Kazuya, can sometimes be caught off guard. If this is the time to come alive, if this is the time to strike, then you need to be doing it now, Pattaya, as the raw forward smash opens up Tony, but Tony is using the disjoints, using the aerial pressure to stay on top of him. Now, I talked about how Pattaya wanted a character that can box more against. Ness does very often need to get up close and personal.
I like the attempt, trying to find that down throw up the ledge. Incredibly strong option from Kazuya, but missed the mark. Still didn't get punished too hard because he was able to, he has that super armor on that move. But is he going to be able to take the stock? He's only at 59%, which isn't terrible. But Tony Pajamas is cooking right now, going for PK Fire into the magnet forward air. A lot of damage. Got Pattaya in a really weird spot, and he finds the yo-yo, which would have given him anyway, but it still killed a little earlier than I expected it to.
Even a linear recovery like that is so strong. Oh, magnet right there.
Tony Pajamas is really putting on for Junior College. Now he has taken 7 stocks, I think, and he still has 2 more to go. This is looking really, really tough for Rutgers to deal with.
These are very traditional ledge traps I'm seeing, relying a lot on the auto turnaround, relying a lot on the frame data, and we're not really getting to see it that much.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Kazi only needs a couple interactions to win if the player himself has those combo routes at the ready, but it looks like Pattaya hasn't really found the big confirms that he needs. He finds that man grab, though. And is able to take that stock off Tony, but can he take one more before he's out of here?
Man grab is an issue.
Ooh, back over the field. Yeah. Tony taking 8 stocks by himself. That's incredible.
Fisher is getting loud. They can feel the momentum. Tony Pajamas is putting the team on his back right now. This is everything you could ask for and more and more and more as the damage racks up. Pataya trying to stabilize. Can they find it? Looking for that win fist. Ooh. Can they get it? Even with the knockdown, they can't find any opening. A jab right there.
Big. Oh, he tried to go for the first
away from the platform, though. Yeah. I love that from Tony. Great defensive choice. And now they have another lease on life. Early jump right here. Can Tony get the pickup? No. Air dodge through.
Ooh, getting tagged by that yo-yo is going to put him in like a really weird spot. He's burned a lot of resources. Can he make it back to the ledge? No! The fully charged down smash is going to do it, and Kazuya dying twice at only about 110%. And this is one of the heavier characters in the cast, so that is so devastating for Rutgers. Rutgers forced to send in their last player against Tony Pajamas, who was taking a sweeping 9 stocks and counting from the Rutgers team.
The rumble throughout the venue as soon as Tony Pajamas takes a win again. You could feel the stomp as Tony Pajamas pops off. You could feel the cheer of the crowd. This is the benefit having the LAN. The energy is unparalleled here at CECC East, and it's only going to get higher as Tony still has one more stock against the anchor in Pharaoh.
Can Pharaoh take 11 stocks from the other team with Yoshi? That is one of the tallest orders I've heard. Like, Yoshi's good. He's not a character that traditionally, like, sneak kills away or, like, you know, go for – I mean, he might have some gimps here and there with, like, egg lay, but, like, I could not even imagine the work it would take to make this comeback. And it's unfortunate for Rutgers because the first game, the first set was so close. They only lost by 2 stocks. So it seemed like they would definitely be able to, like, you know, tap in and, you know, dig down and keep it competitive and close. But so far, Tony Pajamas has absolutely swept the opposite team. Oh, he did lose a stock. He's at 1 stock.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's only 1 stock left. And this is stock Yoshi can take pretty early, but how Tony is playing the momentum, the fire in Tony right now, PK fire, I'm not really certain Pharaoh's going to have an easy time with it. And I like this. Pharaoh slows Tony down. He's like, I am not going to give you the opportunity to charge up on me. It doesn't matter, though, because Tony will make the opportunity for himself. Nares them, has a jump, is able to air dodge right back through.
Yeah, so far it's looking pretty good for Tony Pajamas. 73% uncontested from Pharaoh, the Rutgers University last hope in this tournament. Tony's still playing amazing. Got full stage control. He's punishing Pharaoh's aerials, which is huge because that's where Yoshi really likes to shine. And I'm just not sure if I see a route to a W for Rutgers at this point.
Tony Pajamas is making it look like Ness is the best character in the game, and that he was just throwing in round one. That's all I can say.
It's
like,
shocking he was the first person to go down in the last round. Look at this.
The fact that Ness has such control over his momentum in the air, gets the multi-hit out of shield, baits Pharaoh, because Pharaoh loves those out of shield options, and why wouldn't you as Yoshi? But it comes back to bite you in a big way when that multi-hit ends up taking your life. Now Pharaoh only at 2 stocks. Tony's facing that forward air. Tony could still easily run away. With the drag down, not safe on hit.
Yeah, that was super, super smart play from Tony. You don't see Ness do a whole lot of, like, empty hop up smashes. I don't think I've ever seen him go for that before. But what a great mix-up. And now, Pharaoh at 49%, about to be lapped in damage here once again. Will Tony Pajamas beat the entire Rutgers University team by himself after losing that first round? I've never seen atonement of this quality in my life. It's like, look, I'm sorry I messed up round 1. Tell you what, I'll beat the entire team round 2 as an apology.
Yeah, this is Tony show all the way, and it's not the first time I've seen this. I'm sure it won't be the last. As
there
Tony
it is!
Gets another stock, 81%.
11
Can Tony be the
stocks.
first to take 12 stocks on stream here in the grand finals against a team that had them up against the ropes? I don't think Pharaoh's going to let it happen. Don't let it be you.
Don't let it be you. The pressure on Pharaoh is so outrageous just to take this 1 stock. All right, is this it? No, Tony is still here.
Space and to get the magnet opener, 32%. Pharaoh fishing for down smash up till anything that could possibly kill, but Tony is not giving it to them. You can feel the momentum in the room. Can Tony close this out?
Can he do it? Will this be one of the biggest wins in crew battle history if Tony takes 12 stocks by himself? Can he do it?
Look at this, just kill options being thrown out left and right.
This has to be it.
Can they find the option?
Okay.
Gets the up air, stops the bleeding.
Oh my God. I cannot believe he took 11 stocks.
11 stocks.
Let me ask you this question. If you take 11 stocks and almost take 12 but not the 12th, are you disappointed?
I feel like a little
Are you a little disappointed?
We're definitely going to get a player interview with Tony after this, and Tony is going to say, I could have gotten that 12.
He could have. He really could have gotten the 12. It's one of those things like I don't want to see anybody lose, 12-0 in a crew battle, but also I'm like, or, 10-0 in a crew battle like that. But also, as a spectator, I'm like, can he do it? Can it be done? But, yeah, good Lord. I think he put in more than enough work. He had him up to, like, nearly 80%. And, honestly, he was only 1 or 2 more interactions away from doing it by himself. I truly do not think it matters who Fisher sends in right now. Even if they got 3 stocks right now, there's just such a monstrous lead for them to have to deal with here. It definitely seems like they're going to be going home with the trophy. And they are the 1 seed in the bracket. But not to sing their swan song, but I will at least say congratulations to Rutgers, a team that originally wasn't even like hardcore planning on being at this event, making it all the way to Grands, and after that first round, keeping it really, really competitive. And we saw them beat St. John, or we know that they double eliminated St. John, a team that we've been praising all weekend, honestly. So very strong team, but something snapped in Tony Pajamas in the second round. Something he is the main character today. It is what it is. You just got to accept it.
You know what it is? It's the Batman effect. Tony had the most prep time. Tony went down first, went down, and got to watch every single one, study up on all of their habits, watched every single matchup, downloaded, uploaded, and now we get to see the results posted live for everyone to see here at CECC.
I truly, you could not have convinced me that after the way that the first round went, we would be at this point where it is 1 stock to the remaining 9 on the other team. That's a tough day. If Pharaoh does this, everybody at Rutgers owes him so much money. Not looking great so far, though, already at 43%. And as we said, throwing Steve in again when he gets to come in fresh, he's going to be really strong. As soon as that round is over, he's going to be a little weaker. But looks like throwing G-Extreme in right now, not a huge deal.
And you got to remember, this is who wiped out Pharaoh last time when Pharaoh had 2 stocks.
That's true.
When Pharaoh was not quite as powerful. And it hurts because Pharaoh, can put on such a strong performance. But when they're backed up against the wall like this, they have to play so careful, so safe, can't take many risks. And G-Extreme can capitalize on that so hard.
Yeah, and you want that talent to be spread throughout the entire team really evenly. And this is not me saying that it isn't in Rutgers, but normally when you see a team where it's like really spread out evenly, like St. John's, for example, they're going to go really far. Pharaoh seems to be the strongest player on Rutgers University, and I think he's doing fantastic, but this is just an aspect no one should ever be asked. Nice. Oh, wow. No. Not like this.
Oh.
That's such a disappointing finish, unfortunately, for Rutgers. You hate to see it, but congratulations to Fisher College remaining the 1 seed and taking it all the way just as it was slated. Congratulations to them. They played amazing. Tony Pajamas taking 11 stocks, making me forget that MD only took 8 the round before,
Only 8.
Only 8 stocks, Fantastic play.
Only 8. Oh.
And that was a really good win from Fisher, and it was a real gift for them. But you know what gifts belong with? You know what gifts belong with, everybody? Birthdays. It's Sai's birthday today. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sai. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, someone got that.
Okay, back to work.
All right, and with that, we have even more
I wasn't going to say anything.
Coming up. Yeah, it is Sai's birthday, by the way.
Hey, it's my birthday today.
And you got the present of an amazing – we got the best of both worlds. We got to see an amazingly competitive set with the pendulum swinging back and forth repeatedly throughout the entire thing. And then we got to see a peak performance from one of the best players in college esports, Tony Pajamas, easily earning that title here in the grand finals as CECC East.
I'm trying not to cry. Okay. I really cannot believe how well Fisher did just now. Miles, I've had a blast casting with you. We're going to go ahead and get an interview. We were going to say empty. It definitely seems like we're going to get an interview with Tony Pajamas, but it looks like the whole Fisher squad. So the award ceremony is going to be happening over there. So we're going to cut to them. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to our part of the stream, but let's go ahead and take a look over at Pauly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome here as I am with Fisher College, who just won Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at the East Regional event. Let's make some noise real quick for Fisher! Let's go! Let's go! We are here for Sunday Finals, and I'm here with Tony, of course. Tony, that was an amazing performance we just saw coming out in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. How are you feeling after this win?
Great. I felt like I didn't put my best foot forward the first game, and the second game I really wanted to do what I knew what I could do, and I felt I did that. So. Yeah.
Spectacular play. You guys dominated the entire event. This is all Fisher right here. What's coming up next for Fisher? Eyes on the prize. You just won the East Region. This will qualify you for the CECC in May, which is going to be an amazing event. What's coming up next for the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate team?
I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure we're just finishing up our other leagues, NACE, NECC. Okay. I think they're online right now. I think there's another LAN one coming up soon, but yeah.
All right. Well, what do you want to say to everyone watching at home after you just took home the victory here at the East Regional LAN? How were your events and just your final closeout words?
Just really happy we took it out. We didn't need Sonics to do it. We took it in dominant fashion. I'm really happy with how it went. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, this is Lieutenant Toff here to present the trophy at the award ceremony from U.S. Army. Enjoy, Fisher. I'll get out of the way. Enjoy your reward. Let's go. Let's make some noise one more time for Fisher. Celebrate, baby. Woo! All right, and that's going to do it for the award ceremony. Back over to the desk. We'll throw it over to a break instead.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything.